Hello, y'all. How's it going? It is Friday. Friday, viewer level o'clock. I'm wearing a shirt that has the GoldenEye people, but they have Santa hats. Hello, Marisa Paulhus. How you doing? Thank you, thank you. Lord Bowser, I see you in chat. We got a couple levels in queue. That is perfect. That is perfect. Uh, good to see y'all. It's good to see everyone here. Hopefully more people will be swinging by as the night goes on, as usually happens. Lord Bowser is saying there's apparently a Discord outage right now. I didn't know that, and I don't see that on all the places where I check Discord, but go figure. Apparently there's an outage. Oh my god, says Marisa Paul hosts. What's up? What's up, Marisa? What's the deal? On the YouTube side, if you're wondering. If anyone is wondering where the people I'm talking to are, they're probably on the other side. Or you're watching the pod and you don't see anyone, and you're just always in perpetual wonderment. Wonderment? You're always perpetually wondering who I'm talking to. It's the people. People in chats. In multiple chats. E, says Lord Bowser. Yes, that's right. That's one of those pre-built levels that they have, the title screen levels. Don't worry about that. Let's, before we get into things, I want to do one quick thing right fast, which is, did you see about those various Twitch recaps? Twitch recaps and other various recaps, like for, different things. Hello, Mr. Coco, how you doing? I wanted to show off and show my recaps before we began, and, Twitch has a thing, apparently, where if you are doing a Twitch recap, they do something for you? I'm not sure what exactly. Is it like a promotion thing, like you appear in a certain area of the site? I'm doing a quick Twitch recap thing. Here it is. Look, this is the card that they gave me over on Twitch that says all the things I did as a viewer. You can see there, I watched a lot of Dan Reichert, sort of my main channel that I watched. Also a fair bit of his sister, Team Kayla, Games Done Quick, the various marathons I have very much enjoyed. I'm Glower, Paper Mario Speedrunner, and Giant Bomb, which is where Dan Reichert works. Those are the channels I have watched. My favorite emotes apparently are mine, so that's fun. And I have watched a lot, chatted a lot, etc. What am I supposed to say about all that other than, yeah, I guess I watch a lot of watch parties because Dan does a lot of watch parties. I watch a lot of Paper Mario because I'm Glower is Paper Mario. And I don't know how to account for just chatting, actually. When do I watch just chatting? I guess maybe some of these streamers use just chatting before they've gotten into the games. I also have this, the Twitch recap as a creator. You can see there that apparently y'all have watched 1.5k hours on the Twitch side. Of course, there's no such thing as a YouTube recap, so can't account for that. But there were 171 streams as of me taking this screenshot. That's right, sure. Make sure to subscribe. As far as Twitch subs go, that's Twitch subs, by the way. There's been 12 new of them. YouTube subs, there's been more new of those this year than that, but that's for money, so it's like a big thing. And 240 Twitch followers this year, which looking back on it, that's quite a lot. That's nearly half of the number that I have, or somewhere in that ballpark. I think right now we're at like 500 and something over on the Twitch side, and like 70 around on the YouTube side. As far as like, people who are following / YouTube subscribing goes. Yeah, 569, so like nearly half of y'all started following this year. That's just lovely. A lot of people chatted, and you can also see I added an additional thing there. A lot of people have made clips, or that's not true. I have made a lot of clips. I've made over 1,000 of them because I've been trying to make sure that every good moment is clipped up, and it turns out that adds up. That adds up. Those are Twitch clips. I am still really behind on them. I haven't clipped up anything. I'm always perpetually like 2 months behind real time on clips, but despite being really behind, there's a ton of them nonetheless. Um, Outside of Twitch stuff, I also have here the Switch recap. You can see there Mario Maker's my top game. That makes sense. I do it every week for like 4 or 5 hours at a time. Zelda was right after that. Zelda's really good. And then, surprisingly, all 3 of the virtual console, N64 Online, Game Boy Advance Online, and even Game Boy Online beat Pikmin. And then after that, after Pikmin 4, by the way, it's like Pikmin 3. It's like some other games that are, I replayed this year. So, I think that's cool to know that, like, Pikmin 3, or Pikmin 4 is, like, right after Zelda as far as new games go this year. That makes perfect sense. I also have here the Xbox version of that, which you can see, played a lot of hours, a lot of games, and, yeah, I guess that sums up what that slide says. You can also see here that as far as most played game goes, Persona 5 Royale, that whole playthrough earlier in the year, that took 155 hours apparently, according to the stats here, so that's cool. Makes sense. That game is very, very, very long. I'm a little surprised to see the Sea of Stars was 40 hours nearly, but goddamn, I really love that game, and I think it was absolutely worth 40 hours. Hello, Apar, how you doing? Alan Wake 2, right after that, sure. That makes sense. That game was also pretty long, and I liked it. I think this is the final one I have, which is from PlayStation, which is kind of an oddball thing because I look at this and I go like, well, I spent 19 hours with Marvel Spider-Man 2. I didn't love it. I thought it was pretty okay. Really too long. Humanity, I kind of soured on over the course of the game. And Chichia, I feel like I played like 2 hours of and really didn't like, so I guess that's all to say. I don't play that much PlayStation. And, yeah, even games that I played for like an hour or two and bounced the fuck off make it into the top 3, which, okay, well, I guess I'm glad I have a PlayStation for when a game comes out that's exclusive, which it does like once or twice or 3 times a year, apparently, and they're not all hitters. They're not all hits, even if they are big hitters, according to the thing. I think that's the last of the recap. Yeah. There we go. We've recapped. That's all the recap there is tonight, folks. I'm just gonna remove that from the stream title. Just maybe so people know, like, oh, come on down, give me some levels, etc., etc. Now is a great time to do so. Anyway, that's the recap thingamajig. I don't really know how interesting looking at, like, all that stuff is, but, we have now looked at all that stuff, and I hope you appreciate, how much time I've spent playing various games. I'm not sure what you're supposed to take away from that. Other than, yeah, good year. Look forward to the top 10 games of the year when I put together that list that I'm making, and thinking about, as well as the top 10 list of anime this year, and I'll probably put together like top 5 movies. I think Sisu is the only movie that I really loved this year as far as new movies go that weren't like pretty decent sequels, Let's get into things. Let me get up the level bar and also get up the first level of the night, which is Lord Bowser. Lord Bowser is here, is good. At least he was when we were starting the stream up. I consider that to be still good. Yeah, okay. Doing a Peach dancing emote. That's a lovely emote. Is that yours, or who is that? No, not yours, but it's someone's. It's world time? Oh, right, yes. Someone else's. Have you gotten affiliate yet, Lord Bowser? I'm sure, you know, if you keep at it, you'll make affiliate before too long. I recommend investing in a capture card. You don't apply for affiliate, you just, get certain stats, and then it's sort of like, pops on. Or I think they say, like, I forget if they give you an invite, or if they give you, like, I think it's more of an invite situation than a you apply situation. You have to get certain stats on the Twitch side. I'd recommend investing in a capture card, though. Even like a cheap $20 one is probably going to do you better than doing a camera pointing at the screen. That'd probably help if you had even the cheapest of capture cards. You did get invited months ago? Wow, okay. Good shit. You should get a capture card, though. My recommendation. Even a cheap one. There's ones that are like $20 that work like mostly just fine. You know, for my purposes, I would recommend just getting an Elgato because they work and they're reliable and they don't break down so much. But even a cheap one is gonna do you good. Let me explain how this works for those who don't know, those whose first time is tonight, or who are watching the VOD later and don't know so much what goes on here. This here is viewer levels. Mario Maker 2, you know that. You can read, and you can see what's on screen, but let me tell you how we do things, because we do things in sort of our own way. If you are here when your level comes up, I give it the full time of day, which outside the lightning round means 15 minutes plus 5 last tries if that's not enough. If you are not here when your level comes up, we still play the level, but we do so in very nearly, but not quite sudden death, wherein we only have 2 tries to beat the level, refreshing at checkpoints. So that's just my way of my nice little compromise between prioritizing the people who are present and playing more levels. You see how that works? Pretty good, isn't it? I think it's a very nice system, good way of doing things, and yeah. When you are waiting, you will sleep. Sleep. You might be in like one of them European time zones, Marissa, is that right? I know that Europe is it's like nighttime now, more precisely in Europe. A $20 capture card will work just fine. Yeah. I mean, if you want to just go whole hog and spend like $100, $200 on a capture card, it is worth it. And, like, you will spend a lot less time futzing with, like, oh my god, the colors look really crappy. You know, the colors don't look right. What do I do? How do I... Okay, turn up the saturation. Turn down the intensity. That still doesn't quite look quite right. But it's, it'll do ya for if you want to start. I got affiliate when I was on a bad capture card. And, like, you know, more of an improvised setup. You know, it was fine to start with. You can't afford a $200 capture card right now? Yeah, $20 capture card will do for an interim. Though they can be funny as far as glitches and stuff go. Alright, thank you for the level, Lord Bowser. I'm hitting complete. I'm taking down the timer. I am pulling up the next level from, I believe, Marissa. Oh, hang on. There we go. Marissa's up next. Try that again, Lord Bowser. I think it was messed up. I hadn't removed you by that time. Try it again. Try re-adding that real fast. Get back in queue. Anyway, let's punch in this level. Marissa is here. Marissa was saying that she was sleeping earlier. I'm going to pull a card, though, as I like to do. Pull cards throughout the stream, as I'm entering codes in, especially. And I'm going to talk about what's on it. Did you hear about how E3 is dead now for real? Yeah, E3 is dead for real now. Finally, for the last time, it's officially confirmed there will be no E3 this year. I can't even remember what the E3 situation was last year, or if it got canceled last year, but regardless, whatever's going on with E3, it's just straight up dead now. Marissa, I played this one. Do you want me to pull up a different level? Up to you. If you'd rather I just do it again, it's your choice. Play it again? Okay, I can do that. Marissa says yes. Yes, play it again, Marissa? E3 is fucking dead, yeah. It is end of an era, but I do think that, you know, obviously the fact that the era has ended like 5 times now, you know, makes this a little less interesting, I guess, you know? It's like, okay, it's over now. Feel like it's been over 12 times already. The reason why it feels that way? Because it's been done 12 times already. Doesn't look like the remake as well. That's all. Is that a different code? Would you rather me do that level? Marissa? Your level's currently being played, so... If you want me to do a different one, I can accommodate that. Let me punch that one in. I'll just punch that one in for you. That'll do. PS8. Trying to read from the chat. It's small and hard to read at this distance. That is an 8. PS8. PS8. Okay, cool. 1, 2. Perfect. We'll do this one instead. How about? If this wasn't what you wanted, sorry. Not 9p? Yes, I got it. There's a little bit of a latency between the stream and the chat. So keep that in mind. Just a little bit of one. Anyway, I guess there's not much to say. Everything there has been to say has been said a million times. I think at this point, it's a situation like the Microsoft purchase where you just look at that and go like, this news has been so long coming. I'm just glad it's finally here, and we can rest easy and know that E3 is just done, and we'll never have to hear about it again. And definitely won't come back ever again. No. I got soft lock there. Didn't think about how that would kill the thwomp. Probably should have done. Maybe just, it's not a remake of, like, you know, original level, but it's more just another level set in the same area. Can I, like, jump off this POW and get up here? Yes, that works. That's better than going through the whole messy situation. Okay. You slide into guys. Not gonna worry about it, just gonna run. Not sure. I mean, as far as E3 goes, the whole, like, Keighley has effectively replaced it and, like, supplanted it with his own, like, branding. And also, more importantly, like, all the people who used to do E3 press conferences are still doing them, but independently. So, it's kind of no big loss. Other than people aren't cramming into a convention center and doing a bunch of content from a convention center, which, you know, as someone who would never go to one of those, that doesn't really make much of a difference to me, you know? Like, yeah, I'm never gonna go to a convention center like that. Mr. Coco is up next. Damn it. New record? Oh crap, that was a new record. Hell yeah. That little shortcuts did us good. Did us good. Hell yeah. I'll say I don't think that Summer Game Fest is like the main thing, and I always think that Summer Game Fest as a keynote, as like a presentation, is always inferior to like the Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft press conferences. But whatever. It's the new thing. We just have to get used to it. And every summer I will say things like, well, Summer Game Fest is like the brand, but like it's kind of not the main one. The platform holders, those are the main press conferences, and those are the ones that you want, and they're still going. And so long as they still go, I think that's great. Here's another card. I finished Pizza Tower. I think that's a 5 out of 5. And I also think it's a all-time favorite. That's what the heart means. That game is wonderful. Had a great time with it. Was just constantly surprised by how many unique mechanics each level had. Like, each level had just a one-off transformation, it seemed like. Or like a lot of levels did, where you would see them exactly once, there'd be like a whole level built around it, and, you know, they would never reuse it except for maybe like 1 or 2 or 3, you know, exceptions. Like the final finale kind of does some more with some other stuff, you know? I was just really impressed, really amazed, really enjoyed my time with it, such that I ended up just like plowing through it really goddamn fast and thoroughly enjoying it. It's sort of like a WarioWare 4, except it's like WarioWare 4, but on like crank, you know? It's like high octane in a way that is just amazing. Like, goddamn does that game move motherfucking fast. Like, holy shit. And the fact that you have so little control adds a ton to how fun it is and how like intense that whole game is. Oh my god. Pizza Tower, cannot recommend it enough. I think it's gonna be pretty high on my Game of the Year list, honestly. Probably not top 5, maybe like top 6 or 7, but it's gonna be up there. It's gonna be goddamn up there. Goddamn, what a game. When that comes out on Switch, especially, if y'all have been waiting for Switch, definitely pick that up. Get that, you know, look forward to that, I suppose. Again, Pizza Tower, hell of a game. It's, I love its, like, grungy aesthetic. It's like, weird, sullen, off-kilter personality. It sort of has, like, a misanthropic quality to it. And it's, like, presentation and, like, way of doing things. Very Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy is just a good, example of, like, what it's going for. A good example of, like, its inspiration and shit. As well as, you know, Wario and, all that. this is a very nice little level. It's very chill. I like jumping up all these snowballs. It's lovely. Having a great time, Coco, if you are wondering. Great time with this level. I like how originally it starts off with just a lot of like duck jumping, you know, and goes into more just like regular ass jumping in the second half. It's also just, it's fun to throw snowballs. I feel like snowballs are a underappreciated aspect in Mario Maker. If y'all have other snowball levels, maybe it'd be fun. Like a little bit of a theme on account of like, you know, it's December 15th. I mean, I guess it's gonna be closer to Christmas like in a week from now. Maybe like we could save, you know, some Xmas stuff till next week, I guess. But like, now's a great time to do Xmas type levels. Also, next week is a good time to do Xmas style levels. The week after will be not as good because Xmas will have passed by the week after next. Very good. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too. Merry Xmas. I am hitting complete. I am hitting 1. And I am hitting next. Lord Bowser, go ahead and confirm. By the way, I will say, I should do the, I keep forgetting, I forgot to do the next thing. I just said out loud what the next level is. Lord Bowser, you're up. Go ahead and confirm. I will say, by the way, everyone, you know, as always, feel free to keep on submitting as many levels as you like, as many levels as you care to, until such time as the queue is closed. That means, you know, Mr. Coco, Marisa, Paul hosts. Apar, I don't think you submitted anything yet, Apar. If you want to get in there, now's a great time. Apar the gamer. Did you forget to do that, or maybe you don't have it? Yeah, obviously, I'll say. You don't have to submit anything to watch along. But, someone has to submit me levels, or else I'm gonna run out of levels, won't I? And then I'm just gonna have to go through Lord Bowser's Super World, which wouldn't be a bad thing. You know, I'd have to play levels from one person until such time as there were more levels. That'd be weird. Please, get him in. Fill up my queue. Here's another card. Played a little bit of Paper Mario Randomizer off stream for fun. Hello, Excellency. Thank you for the level. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Played a little bit of Paper Mario Randomizer off stream for fun. That randomizer is probably still my favorite randomizer. I love it to death, and really enjoy the new features that they added that like make it so that you can constrain what areas are in logic to just a couple of required chapters, which is pretty neat and makes for a lighter experience for when you just want to just do a quick little randomizer thing. That is just very fun. Did that while listening to an audiobook that I've been going through the last week, as well as like podcasts and stuff. I'll say, even if you're not streaming, even if you're not a streamer, even if you're not interested in doing anything of the sort, y'all should try out randomizers sometime. They're actually really good. It's a maker ID. That's good. I can work with that. Excellency. Randomizers are really good for when you want to do just like podcast stuff off, you know, if you're looking for like a good podcast game. A randomizer is actually a pretty good one because you can just like play through a game that you know very well over the course of like 4 or 3 to 7 hours, and depending on like how you configure it, you know, you can configure it to be shorter or longer, and then you get like a fresh experience and etc., etc., which is pretty novel, always cool, always fun, and I enjoy it. Of course, haven't done that on stream for a bit since like a couple months ago. That's fine. Not every time I play that needs to be on stream. In fact, it's sometimes easier to just boot that up and again, use it as a podcast game, use it as an audiobook game, that sort of thing. And just listen to that as I idly make my way through them games. Felt a little weird playing through that randomizer when I still have not finished Super Mario RPG yet, the remake, but goddamn, I love that randomizer and would highly recommend people check it out. Again, even if you're not into streaming, it's just a good time.
Oh yeah.
Bye, Yoshi.
Time.
You can pick something from the upload. Hell yeah. Alright, I am hitting, very chill level, that's right. I am hitting complete, I am hitting 1, and I'm hitting next. Excellency, you are up. Folks, please feel free to get in levels. Now is a great time to do that. Still, you know, I'm fine so long as we have, like, multiple levels to bounce between, multiple viewers to bounce between. That is, fine by me. Let's go ahead and pull up this next level. Meanwhile, I'm going to do another card, talk about what's on it. Been playing Marvel Snap. There's been a really good, this week's Spotlight Cache was really good. It had 3 cards that I didn't have, so I got all of them. I got Blob, I got Living Tribunal, and I got Ravonna Renslayer. Ran through all my unlock things. Hello, S. Rui. I hope that works. Oh, you put in ab. You're gonna have to put in ad with D's instead of B's. ADD, not ABB. Is that what happened last time? Maybe that's what happened last time. Last time where it didn't recognize your message. Someone help up S. Rui. Anyway, just got Blob, Living Tribunal, and Ravonna Renslayer. I'll say Living Tribunal seems pretty useful in spots. Ravonna Renslayer seems alright, but Blob, man, Blob is strong. Blob is just an amazing card for just basically what Blob does. If you don't know Marvel Snap, it's a collectible card game that's on phones, and it's really fast-paced, etc., etc. I love it. I play it all the time. Blob is a 6 cost card, as expensive as they come, basically, who basically it eats your entire deck and has the power equivalent to every card that's in your deck. So, you know, you get this out early, you end up having just a massive blob. It's pretty incredible. Let me show you some of the decks I've been playing real fast. Must be Lexix. I think S. Rui is Japanese, so perhaps not as familiar with English. Add. Let me, you know what? Let me grab a keyboard. That'll help. Let me show you some of the decks that I have while I type in at... I like reply. How does that work on YouTube? Okay, so I got these cards here. Here's the first deck that I've been... I made a deck before I got any of these cards, which I called Oakley Dokley, which I thought was funny. Not really a very good deck, just like a what's-his-face deck, a Sebastian Shaw deck. But once I got Blob, started focusing more on him. First made one that used Thanos and also Sebastian to like have a very big deck that can grow bigger. And then when Blob consumes it, it's used. But eventually I decided to do more of a ramp thing with like with some ramp options as well as some anti-Blob options like Yondu and Cable. And then hopefully do Blob on 5 or 4 and Taskmaster or Arnim-Zola to copy that Blob into multiple locations, which has been extremely fun. Extremely fun. This is a very fun deck to play. and I quite enjoy it. I also did make one auto deck for Ravona, which I was kind of surprised when I saw it, because it's like, okay, well, this is a Darkhawk deck, which is really countered by Blob for reasons, but basically it just is built around like making a bunch of copies for your hand and then just playing a bunch of copies of all your different cheaper discounted cards from Ravona or from Quinjet or from Zabu, which turns out to be really good. I actually had some really good results with this deck as well, despite my initial reticence. Let me thank you for the subscription on YouTube. Excellency. Hell yeah. I think that was Excellency, right? That's S. That's S. Add. Not ab. With D's. Whoops, I misspelled that. Add. Not ab. I put an S. This keyboard is, maybe not the best. I don't know. I don't love it, I'll say. I don't use it that often. I'll just, redact that message on account of it being a typo and all. If anyone wants to, like, translate that for SRUI, go ahead. You know, machine translate or otherwise. Let's play one of these levels. This is enough time, you know, dealing with that. How about just the latest one? That sound good, Excellency? Apparently this one is so easy. Let's go. Let's do it. That's right, that was Excellency. Okay, let's do it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me say, for anyone who don't know how this works on this channel, if you are here when your level comes up, we give it the full time of day, 15 minutes plus 5 last tries if that's not enough. If you are not here, we still play the level, but it's in sudden death, which means 2 tries, basically. Your daughter made these, the rest made this, the rest are yours. Gotcha. Good luck. Okay. Sounds like we might need it. Okay. I think I know what I need to do here. Not fall into those holes. I got it. Hang on. Why don't I just, I'll just add that on SRUI's behalf to the queue. Whoopsie daisy. How do I fucking... Trying to copy in the chat YouTube chat window. Change that. Let me change this to a... There. I'll add it on my own. There we go. There. I've added SRUI's level as myself. That'll suffice for now. Okay, perfect. I hope next time, I hope it works next time. And also, please, add is the thing. Language barrier can be hard to... SRE put in add. Let's see, does it work? Does it work? I mean, I'll say, SRUI, I'm curious that the bot will be able to see you, because I thought you added it properly last time, and it was, weird. It seemed like it didn't recognize you. I wonder if you if it was AB last time as well, and that was the reason why. That would maybe be quite the coincidence, like, I don't know if you get that wrong twice. in that way, in that exact same way, but worth considering, I suppose. I need to look into what's going on with that bot and see if there's a way for it to recognize, like, Japanese characters. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do some investigation on that, in the last week, but I don't know, it's been busy. Been busy with stuff. Lots to do and all. I definitely for sure will do that in, like, the week before Christmas. I'm sure I will find time in the week before Christmas to bug hunt and see what's up with that. You know, a thing that I didn't even make. You know, it's like a script I got from an open source, from like GitLab or some such. Why wouldn't it handle like other languages? I don't know. That's, you know, go figure. I'm curious. Next, when you're up again, go ahead and just try adding. Hey, Squink, how's it going? Good to see you, Squink. How about another card while we're just fighting bosses? Playing a little Smash Ultimate. I mentioned, you know, last stream that it had its anniversary. It's you know, 5 years old now, and as a result, I've been thinking about it a bit, and you know, just pulling it up idly to play some Smash. Not playing online recently because I'm so out of shape as far as Smash goes. I feel a little bit of like insecurity, you know, and I'm not really like ready to jump right in. You don't think it's necessary to kill Roy? One of the Roys has a key. Wait, but is the second one... Oh, the Boom Booms have the keys, right. What about the Roy, though? Good point. I should look more closely. I guess there's probably not a key door or something. Oh, right, that's literally a regular door. I didn't notice that. Good call, Excellency. Okay, going under now. I'll say, going back to it, it's fun. It's still a very, very fun game. I've just been doing a little bit of, like, random practice-type matches. Just, like, pulling up random characters and playing them in, like, the tag mode. Which I still think is a damn shame it never was, like, online. Like, that tag battle mode is excellent. You got you to play it yesterday? Gotcha. That tag battle mode in Smash Ultimate is so good, and I wish that it was supported online play. Next time, maybe. Next time they do Smash, maybe they will put that into... Maybe they will include that in the online offering. The water level is, like, slowly dropping here. Oof. Is this bad to go under the water here? Wait, this is a shortcut. Wait. This is later in the level. Okay. Well, we don't get a Yoshi, though, if we don't fight the guy. And nor do we get power-ups. I think that still might be faster. I'm gonna go with it. Anyway, I was just playing some random tag battles against computer players and having a good time. And, you know, as I was, like, watching videos and doing, like, podcasts and audiobooks and stuff, and I was thinking as I was going, like, god damn, you know, like, how amazing is it? I was playing as K. Rool, and I was fighting, Banjo-Kazooie, and I was just thinking about that in that moment of like, god damn, you know, this was unimaginable, like, 6 years ago, right? Unimaginable that we would have both Banjo-Kazooie and K. Rool in a Smash game at all, let alone the same one in the course of like a year. Like, goddamn, they did an amazing thing with Smash Ultimate. I think one of the things that cannot be overstated is that Smash Ultimate is like the best roster improvement, roster boost that they've ever done in the franchise. Like, goddamn, they just added in everything everyone was asking for, and they did such a phenomenal job with each everything. You know, if any. Smash for Wii U and 3DS had a lot of characters, a lot of new characters that like made sense. Where you played it and went like, okay, yeah, Little Mac, okay, he's like a big guy. Rosalina, yeah, she's sort of a representative of Mario Galaxy. Wii Fit Trainer, sure, yeah, that's a fun oddball choice. Or was Wii Fit Trainer a generation before? I forget. You know, you get like a Duck Hunt Dog, and you're like, okay, that's sort of a fun thing. It's almost like a little Banjo-Kazooie, except it's not. And, you know, when you get right down to it, it's like, okay, these are very good inclusions that make sense, but they weren't anything anyone was asking for. But with Ultimate, they just literally did everything what everyone was asking for, and now I don't know who they add next, other than, yeah, Waluigi is like the only fan favorite left on the table for them to add. So, I expect to see Waluigi in the next one. I still think it is worth noting that, that is just some excellent shit. Okay, end timer complete. 1. Okay, here's the one from S. Rui. For some reason, it didn't pick up the code. Oh, right, because it doesn't have dashes. Please include dashes on the codes. That's how it's, if you don't, it can't figure it out for some reason, but I'll pull it from chat. Don't you worry, S. Rui. Let me go ahead and punch this in. Meanwhile, I'll do another card. I've been playing Super Mario RPG. I'm almost done with it. I'm on like Bowser's Castle. I will say I'm pretty sure I'm like horrifically underleveled. During like the Axum Rangers fight, every time they did that big beam, all my guys died. Until like it turns out Mallow somehow didn't die. Like Mallow from full health, Mallow taking that big beam went down to like 3 health, and then I was able to max heal until such time as the big beam at the end ran out of mana, but somehow squeezed through, but fraught. As I understand it, there is like a weird cheap way to finish off the final boss, like in one hit, so I guess I will do that to get through the final battle. Is that cool to do? Do people like it when you do that? Is that a fair thing to do? I don't know if that's like fair, but that's what I plan to do anyway. I'm just gonna do the 15 minutes. S. Rui, I'm not sure if you understand that you are up, and you know, if I do the @ thing, it's not going to tell you because it's me. But if you could confirm, that would be a nice thing. What the fucking hell? Okay.
Oh no!
I don't think this is as impossible as it seems, for what it's worth. Anyway, Mario RPG, I'll say I do appreciate how light and breezy that game, the Mario RPG is. I do, still do think that it's not really my thing. Like, I don't really like the way the humor feels. I would liken it to, like, 90s cartoons. You know, like the Sonic cartoon, for instance. Where it's just, like, weirdly juvenile. Like, a little too much so. Compared to, like, Paper Mario, which I would maybe liken to more like Pixar. You know, more Pixar level where it's like, okay, well, I think anyone can enjoy Paper Mario. You know, adults, kids, it doesn't really talk down to you at all. You know, it's just approachable. Whereas I think Mario RPG, just literally a character who's like 5 and seems to have the, you know, seems to be about as facile as a 5-year-old would be, you know, Mallow. He's totally like 5, and he doesn't understand things in the way that a 5-year-old would. Like, oh, is that me? Oh, that's such a coincidence. It's like, yeah, anyone with like a 2nd grade leading comprehension knows that this isn't a coincidence, that knows what's up with Mallow as soon as they get to the Mallow chapter of the game. But he has to be like a 12-year-old about it and not quite get it. It's a little much for my taste. I'd rather he get it. I'd rather be playing with a team of guys who understand what's going on. I don't know. Hello, Willow Thor. How you doing? Thank you for the level. Thank you for putting that in there. Thank you for the follow. Willow Thor. I think that was Willow Thor, yeah? Yeah, perfect, yes. I can read my activity feed on Twitch. That is very easy for me to do. Appreciate it. Anyway, nearly done with that. I imagine I'll finish it this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. This is a difficult level, let's say. How about another card? Next playthrough is coming up. Need to decide on details. Right, so, as y'all might know, if you, like, follow me closely or look at the schedule thing when I post this, when I show the schedule at the end of a stream, I always do, like, a playthrough on Mondays. And I've been currently going through StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. There's just one more stream of that. The last stream of that is this Monday. And then after that, we'll be going on to something else. Now, between campaigns of StarCraft, I've been recently doing, like, I've been recently doing some other games. Like, specifically, I've been doing Zeldas. I did Wind Waker HD, and then I did Twilight Princess HD. And it would kind of follow to do the card thingy is interesting and cool. Thank you. That's my way of remembering things I want to talk about and other such things. Expect to see a bunch of them. I got a whole bunch prepared. I got it would make sense to do Skyward Sword HD. But also, what if I didn't, on account of Skyward Sword HD maybe being the worst 3D Zelda? You know, maybe I could do something better, like, I could do Ocarina. I could do, you know, Link to the Past. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be a Zelda game. Maybe I could do... I've been thinking a little bit about what other games I could do. I've had an idea recently to do, like, Darksiders 2. That's been on my head as a thing I would like to revisit sometime in the near future. Another game I wouldn't mind to replay would be Star Fox Adventures, and that is kind of a Zelda-like, so, you know, wouldn't be too out of like wouldn't be too different from playing the other Zelda games, you know, except with voice acting and some characters who are sexual. Well, actually, there's characters in Twilight Princess that are about as sexual as Crystal is. Actually, perhaps even more so. More pronounced cleavage in some of the on that buxom barmaid character in Twilight Princess, and they lean into it too. They frame it, you know. They're kind of weird about it. You in a way that you wouldn't expect a Nintendo game to be, in retrospect. It's very funny, also, in retrospect, that they did all this stuff up for like, the barmaid character, like, the bar hostess lady, right? And the characters that people lust after in Zelda are, like, the handsome shark man, you know, the handsome Zora, and, the handsome goat man, and also, the little imp. Very few people get horny for, the barmaid lady, I think. I don't know. Maybe that's not true. Maybe people are getting horny and I don't know it.
Oh no!
It's hard to know who's getting horny where. True. Yeah, that is true. When they tried to be sexual, they kind of, in Twilight Princess, they kind of missed the mark a little bit, and only accidentally, you know, hit people's funny bones. Their funny spots, you know, tickled their fancies.
Oh no!
Anyway, as far as games, I'm not really decided about what it'll be. I'm also not sure when we will start. I will say, like, my way of doing things recently has been to take a week off between playthroughs, so, you know, maybe no stream the Monday after next. But the Monday after that is New Year's, so I don't know. Does it make sense to start a new game on New Year's Day? And the Monday after that is the first day at my new job, so I might be tired. I might be out of it, you know? I might not be in a place where I can do a stream and have it be good, considering. So maybe might take a few weeks before the next playthrough starts, and, you know, holiday season, it's a good time to take things easy anyhow. A lot of people will be traveling, a lot of people will be out of town. A couple fewer streams would be fine. And hey, maybe we could do other things as well with those, like, days that don't have playthroughs on it. Like, I could do some randomizer stuff. It's been a while since I played, like, a lot of the randomizers that I like. I'll also say, and there's cards for this later, but I'm looking at making a new PC, and if I get that new PC before year's end, I would love to do some streams of, like, some PC intensive stuff that, some intensive stuff that's on PC that, like, I won't have troubles with anymore. Like, I won't have to worry if I ever want to do, like, a GameCube randomizer anymore. I can always just be assured, like, oh yeah, OBS and the GameCube and Dolphin can absolutely run at the same time without any, like, concerns. Yes, okay. No performance issues whatsoever to be concerned with. It'll all just work. Fantastic.
Oh no!
I got another card here about, like, upcoming stuff, which is that there will be some Game of the Year refreshers next week. One thing I like to do in the Game of the Year season before I lock in my list is to revisit all the games that I'm thinking about for my list, as many as possible, over the course of December, and, you know, play some of them, and think about, like, okay, really, is this one better than this one? How do I feel about this? All putting them right next to each other, you know? And then, I go from there. And the last 2 years since I've been a streamer, I've done this on stream, so I want to do it on stream again. That'll be, next Thursday? And I'm thinking, like, I might do some other streams as well. I might do some additional ones, maybe over the weekend. You know, maybe that'd be fun to do, like, a weekend stream where I, checked out more games, because I looked at the stream of that from last year, and I realized, like, okay, I just did, like, the top 5 games, and I did it in around, like, 10 hours, so yeah, that doesn't really... I don't think I could do, like, 15 games, let's say, which is about as many as I'd like to revisit in, like, a single stream, so maybe multiple streams, maybe, like, a whole... Honestly, maybe in the future it'd be good to, like, schedule that all out and try to do, like, a whole December season, like, thing. You know, like a series of Game of the Year refresher streams over the course of multiple weeks. I'm gonna try to do it in like a couple days because we're getting towards the end of the month and there's not that much time to do refresher before I gotta put together a list and do a thing. I say I gotta. What I mean is I want to, and I always have, and I enjoy putting together lists. This seems like it. Fuck!
Oh no!
That was so damn close, wasn't it? If I can make it past this phase with my fire flower, I'll be feeling pretty good. Shit. Crap.
Oh no!
Here's another card. We're going through a bunch of them right now. I don't have that many that's this stream, but still, we'll go through them at a good rate. Made some forced pyramorphics. What does that mean? Well, you'll see in a minute, because we're playing a level right now, and I'm not gonna like show you something that I cannot explain properly until we are between levels. I should have thought of that before I pulled the card. By the way, let's say for the lightning round, 7:40. So 20 minutes from now, the lightning round will begin. 7:40 seems like a good time. Not sure this is going to be the longest Mario Maker 2 stream. Don't have that many cards. I usually like to, these days, keep going on a stream until such time as I run out of cards, at which point that seems like a good time to wrap it up. Usually with the amount that I prepare, they can cover like 3 hours of streaming, you know?
Oh no!
I can explain what a force cube is before I show you what a force pyramorphix is. A force cube is basically a it's like a twisty puzzle, right? Twisty puzzle, like a Rubik's Cube, that sort of thing. Except you take like a stickerless type puzzle, right? You take it apart and you put it back together where you use the same color for every phase, for the whole thing. So it's sort of a monocolor cube, and thus cannot be scrambled in the way that a normal cube can be, because it's a single color now. And that is what I have done with some pyramorphics, which is a really cool puzzle that is very straightforward, very simple, but I like it a lot. I got them over there. I'll grab them as soon as we are done with this level and show you what it looks like. I've never made any force cubes before, other than like one kind of where I just took off some stickers off a stickered axis cube, and that was a fun thing. But it's, you know, more of just a stickerless cube rather than force cubes, where typically you have to buy like as many cubes as there are colors on the thing in order to make like a bunch of each color, basically, because you need as many sides as there are. You need as many sides. You need to have like 6 times the amount of each color in order to make it work.
Oh no!
Timer is up. We go into last tries when the timer is up. We have 5 tries to do it. Now, I will say, you can always resubmit a level after I fail to do it, so, you know. This doesn't have to be the end right here for this level. It can absolutely come back. I would imagine by the time it's up again. A little logic giddy. I can manage like a Kaizo Light. I'm not great at Kaizo, but I'll try. It's quite possible it'll be the lightning round before your level comes up, I will say, logic, Eddie, but don't that's not really a problem so much as it is just a thing that we do here.
Oh no!
Sounds good enough. Thank you for the level, Logic Eddie. I like to see a lot of levels from different people, and a lot of different ones, you know? Logic Eddie from Logical Cedric. I don't know, I don't think I've ever known anyone called Cedric. That's a good name, I'll say. It's relatively uncommon, and yet when you see it, you know it's a name. Like, oh, I know characters with that name.
No!
Almost feels like a Fire Emblem name to me. Are there Cedrics in Fire Emblem? We survived. We kept our fire flower until round 2. That's unprecedented, and also it means that we won. Let this be the end of the level. With 2 tries left, we did it. Thank you, S. Rui.
Time!
I appreciate the level. Sorry we had to like get it in weird. It was sort of weird to get that in. I don't know what's up with the bots. I'll have to have a look at that at some point when I can find time for it. Cedric Diggory? Yeah, there is a Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter. That is what I was thinking of, but I wasn't sure if it was like spelled in that way. Yeah, spoken the same. Gotcha, okay. Complete! Next up, Lord Bowser. Lord Bowser, go ahead and confirm. Hit next for you, Lord Bowser. Lord Bowser says, Twitch emote. Yes, that'll do, Lord Bowser. Well, let me show those force cubes. 1 second. Yep. Zoom in here pretty close so you can see it better. So a pyramorphixes is a pretty fun cube. You can see it's sort of like it's sort of a shape mod on a 2x2, but it's like pyramid shape, and it sort of shape shifts as you turn it. So you can form it into all sorts of weird shapes like this, or like this. And it's a pretty lovely cube. I like it a lot. And I decided to make some force cubes of it, and the other day I got 4 of these in the mail, and I took them apart and made these 4 force cubes, which I think are just really damn cool. Look at them, here they are. There's 4 of them in each color. Cedric or Logic or Cedric, okay, gotcha. Whatever you're most comfortable with, but not Eddie. Gotcha. Yeah. So they're all very cool. Had to like shave off or like sand off the logo on the yellow cubes. That was like the only weird thing about this whole set. And I will say, it was a pain in the ass to get these things apart and get them back together, but I think the results are very cool. They're maybe a little looser than the original one since I had to like unscrew their like screws in there, and I re-screwed them, but not as perhaps as tight. But they're pretty damn cool as things to futz around with. Like, you know, you can see here as I shuffle it, it like changes shape and crap, which is really damn neat. But also like it's all still one color, and as soon as you get back to a pyramid, it is solved, you know? Let me get it back to a pyramid real fast. It's not that hard when you know how. Look at these things. Aren't they cool? I think the red is my favorite one of them. Like, the red looks really neat. The other colors are good as well, but the red is like... I really just love this shade of red. And it just looks real damn cool. Yep. Just gonna drop those into the other seat on the love seat. And let's play Lord Bowser's level now. Fantastic. I'm really happy to have made those, but it did take me like a couple hours to like take them all apart, put them back together, and to like try to get the pieces back in. The last piece of each of them was like a nightmare. I probably spent like 10-20 minutes for each one just going like, get in there! Just trying to get it in the little hole that's not supposed to be big enough to let it in, because, you know, it sort of is meant to hold it in place, you know? And, it's probably harder to put together than, like, a regular Rubik's Cube, because in addition to, like, all these little pieces, all the things that hold them, there's, like, a whole big mechanism in there with, like, more pieces than this. Like, there's only 8 pieces on the outside, but on the inside, there's, like, as many pieces as there would be on a 3x3, which is, I guess, how 2x2s work. They're kind of like 3x3s that have, like, a layer that is hidden from the sight. Pain in the ass, but I think the results speak for themselves, and I am super happy with them. Let's play this level. Next up, one from Lord Bowser. Hell fucking yes. Time to take on the Castle of Lemmy again. Yeah, for context, Lord Bowser submits levels all the time. Hello, Immortal Thoughts. Or Immortal Tot, how you doing? Lord Bowser submits levels all the time. Had to re-upload the Super World, so we restarted at a certain point. Also, we did play a bunch of these while they were in development, so, you know, that's a whole thing. Let me start that timer. We won't need it, though. This level can't be that hard, I say. I'll say 7:45, so 15 minutes from now, we'll do the lightning round. That seems like a good standard, you know, time for lightning round to start. Perfectly good. I've been doing a little later recently, but I feel like if the streams aren't going so long, I like to start the lightning round more around like 7:45 than like 8. Good luck. Yeah, I might need it. It's an auto-scroller, so, you know, that's fun. I always wish that auto-scrollers could be sped up, but that is not in their nature. It is kind of like the Frog and the Scorpion. But, like, you know, not. Kind of just normal. I should stop dying. That's what I should stop doing. Here's another card. I bought a white chocolate Toblerone. I saw a white chocolate Toblerone, like a big one, when I was traveling for family business. You know, a little bit of a funeral and all, like a week or two ago. I guess like 2 weeks ago at this point. Still a little sick from that, but I'm mostly better now. I was kind of feeling kind of shitty this morning, actually, after feeling pretty good yesterday, but anyway, saw the Toblerone, had a piece of it in New York, and decided, like, oh shit, that's actually really good. I love white chocolates, and it seems like a fun luxury thing. You gave me a crazy idea for a level where the player can control the scrolling screen. Oh, like it's the same in the subworld and the overworld, except that it works at different speeds. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Screen real estate will be an issue. You can only have that, you know... You're going to have to use your overworld, subworld very economically for that, but that sounds pretty neat, I'll say. Anyway, I got one of those Toblerones. I ordered it from Amazon, and I've been eating it, and it's pretty good. I'll say... Yeah, the second half was easier. I'll say the Toblerone has a little bit more of an aftertaste. Sort of a chalky type aftertaste than I expected. But it is very good white chocolate. It has a nice crunch to it. And I still definitely like it a lot. You know, when I had my first taste of it in New York, I definitely was like, oh, this is kind of like a premium, you know, cookies and cream thing, because it has like a crunch to it, and it's also very like, has that same flavor. And I'll say now, cookies and cream doesn't have that aftertaste. I might actually prefer a cookies and cream bar, technically, but it is still really good. And I do think a Lindor is like the best, is still the best white chocolate thing out there. I'm drooling.
Mario #1.
You can use custom scroll in main to have 2 speeds in one area. Not sure that's how that works. Custom scroll typically is like, I guess you could have 3 different areas. Yeah, 3 different versions of the same area. And using the custom scroll, you could have one be duplicated twice across the overworld. Though, if you are dividing the overworld into 3 separate, into like multiple separate chunks like that, you're gonna eat away at your screen real estate really fast. Like, so a level is 10 screens long. You need 1 screen for the ending, and you need 1 screen for the start. So that leaves 4 screens for each of the auto-scroll sections. Which is maybe enough. Maybe enough. Maybe you could have it so that the one that's fast was in the subworld, and it's actually like longer as a result. Maybe that'd be fun if like slower ones were also shorter, and the longer ones, as it was like got faster, you had to do more of a level, you know. That would almost make sense if you did like 2.5 for like say you did 2 screens for slow. Actually, that would be too little. 3 screens for slow, 5 screens for medium, 7 screens for long. Do you play Roblox? No, I've never played Roblox. That's after my time, you know? Like many things. By the way, sorry you're hearing the, I believe you're hearing some of those, like, Windows sounds. That's because, I had to do a workaround to get the TITS thing, the Pikmin thing to work today with sound, and, and it's causes there to be Windows sound that gets picked up. Unfortunate but unavoidable. Hello, Caraspino, how you doing? Complete. 1. Next. Squink. Squink, you are up. Squink has said a thing. I confirmed. Very good. How about I do another card as I'm entering in this thing? I finished the anime, Kono Oto Tomare, Sounds of Life Season 2. Finished rewatching it. Let me get the timer down also. Hey. Sorry about that. Kono Oto Tomare, Sounds of Life. Lovely show. Really enjoyed the 2nd season. If you don't know, Kono Oto Tomare, Sounds of Life, which probably most people don't know it. It is a music anime about a club that plays the koto, which is a traditional Japanese instrument. That's an anime, by the way. I thought the 1st season was more of a 4 out of 5, but the show gets better as it goes, and by the 2nd season, it's really firing on all cylinders. There's some really good performances that are very, like... It all ends in a great tournament arc, which is just lovely and full of, like, some of the best performances in a music anime. I say some of the best performances. It's a really good and heartfelt and emotional climax to the show in a way that makes you go like, God damn, this is better than I thought it was. And also, I'll say, like, the problem with season 1 was there was a lot of characters who were, like, going out of their way to ruin the main characters' days. You know, sort of, like, give them a hard time because the main characters, they're sort of, like, ruffians and, like, outcasts and misanthropes, you know, that sort of thing. Misfits, in other words. And there's a lot of, like, authority figures that give them a hard fucking time, which is really annoying, and it just gets tiring. And in the second season, there's very little of that, and what amount of that there is like shouted down immediately. Like, oh, I'm being unfair to them. A character immediately steps in and says, fuck off. No, you don't know these people. They're actually really nice and chill. I am going to prove to you that they're good, and, it doesn't get dragged down as a result. Really lovely season. Enjoyed it a lot. Was nice to finish. Roblox is one of your favorite games. What can I say? I just never got into it. Again, after my time. Costume Scroll 5 easy. Costume Scroll 5 easy. Medium 5, hard 5. Make a full wall and start the level above the timer. And after each screen is a thing. Oh, you could do a thing where it's like there's a wall and it blows up as you like enter the room, and you use like the top half and the bottom half of the screen effectively. That'd work, yeah. Shit, you're right there. There is ways to do it to get like 5. It's gonna be hard from a technical perspective, but worth figuring out, I reckon. It came upon a midnight clear. Let's do it. This is a music level then? Guessing this is a music level. I don't recognize the song, but it sounds very Christmassy. Sounds like a very Christmassy song, Quink. Squink, is that right? We have to live. It is a Christmas song? Gotcha. I feel like I don't listen to that many Christmas songs. I mean, I don't honestly listen to that much music in general. And, I guess my Christmas exposure just comes down to, like, when I am in a shopping center and they are playing a song for me. Came across a midnight. It's a pretty old one. Gotcha. Well, there's a lot of them. We love it. Christmas is a good time of year. Holidays, all that. Definitely one of the best times of year that there are. Hard, though. Bling Crosby, Frank Sinatra, and Ellie Fitzgerald, and others have sung it. Gotcha. I think I've heard of Bing Crosby before. Like, in the last few weeks, coincidentally. His name reminds me of the other person who has a very similar name, who, is, no longer a figure to be, respected, Cosby. Bill Cosby. Similar name. Bill Cosby, his legacy, not in a good way, I'll say. I, never got into Cosby, I don't know. Even before everything happened with him, even before the allegations came out. Never got into him. Never watched any of his stand-up, nor his show. I didn't watch much like... It was like Nick at Night. Bill Cosby might have sung a version of them. Did he ever have a Christmas album? I have no fucking idea if Bill Cosby had a Christmas album. That sounds like the kind of thing that Bill Cosby might have done. Like, he kind of had a brand of being like America's father, right? And then, you know, that brand went up in smoke. For good reason, you know, or justifiably so. He was not a good guy. Are you ever going to try Roblox? I'll tell you, I'm not really that much for, like, trying games. Trying games I haven't really, like, played before. My understanding with Roblox, it's more of like a collection of, like, of games that people have made, right? I have seen, like, a big YouTube video about, like... Well, there's the Roblox Oomph video, which, from H-Bomber Guy, which I've seen, and I really liked. I also liked that other... There was that other one from, like, Folding Ideas about, like, the efficacy of how Roblox, development works and, is sourced. And that whole thing seems very fraught. So, you know, I don't know. I guess I can't really speak to it, but, as I've never played it, but, I do think it's interesting, that whole scene. You know? I do think it's very interesting to look at and go like, God damn, seems like they're doing... There's a lot of shit going on over there, and it just is all beyond me because, you know, by the time Roblox was starting, I was like, when did Roblox start? Like the mid-aughts, right? I was in my 20s. You know, not the demographic. When did Roblox start? Minecraft, I got into that even though it started when I was in college. You know, that was a really good thing for college, actually, honestly. Like, might have even been better for college than for, like, precocious kids. Because, you know, I could play Minecraft while, like, sitting in the back of lecture halls, you know? And going like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be learning about minerals or whatever. But, turns out college professors, they don't give a fuck, and you can just play Minecraft while, taking in a lecture. Like, that was just the most amazing thing to realize as, like, a, you know, first-year college student. Didn't wind up doing that often, though, I'll say. Like, with other games, let's say. I don't know. It always felt like a weird thing to do. But I definitely remember, like, a handful of times, like, booting it up in such context and hanging out and stuff. We need the duck to do this. Slap battles on Roblox. Slap battles is one of your favorite games. What is that, like, GoldenEye? Like, GoldenEye slap battles? Probably something like that, right? Probably like you run around and like hit each other and it's all weirdly short range. It's like slappers only. I didn't actually do that much slappers only. I you know, I had GoldenEye as a kid, but never played it that much. I wasn't as into it as like others were, and also I didn't get out much, so not as many chances to play it with people. You know, other than family members who, you know, we didn't really play that one that much. Wasn't a real multiplayer family, I guess. We didn't do that much, versus and such. I'm gonna remember to duck this time. I'm gonna remember to duck this time. It's 7:45, so after this level, the lightning round will begin. Look forward to that. Are the coins optional, by the way? I'm assuming they're optional, Swing. Hope they're optional. Bonus, okay, yeah, we can relax and not worry about them. Cool. Here's another card. I've been watching Pluto, almost done now. That is the spin-off anime of like it's like based on an Astro Boy plot that was like spun off into its own manga that's like serious rather than like the traditional Astro Boy thing, which is more you know, for kids and shit. I've been finding Pluto to be okay. I do think that like once I realized that it was an Astro Boy spin-off and that the events were basically just like a serious, gritty retelling of Astro Boy, I think I did find it to suffer a little bit, you know? Like, realizing that, like, oh, you know, there's this cool detective who fucks, and he seems like a great character, but at the end of the day, this is all gonna come down to some fucking kid who is like, you know, not even called Astro Boy because was never his Japanese name. He was always called Adam something or other. That was always his Japanese name, which, you know, sure, but I am thinking in the back of my head like, oh, that's Astro Boy. That's Astro Boy. No matter what they call him, it's Astro Boy. It also tends to make, like, the combat feel a little more cartoony, just knowing that, like, oh, when characters are just, like, flying around and glowing, and that's just about all that seems to be going on with them. Like, that's not because it's a very simple, like, combat system. It's more just because, yeah, it's based on a cartoon where we're like, yeah, characters should just glow and fly around, and that was it. You know? That said, it is still pretty good. I'm probably looking at probably a 4 out of 5 in my books. That would be my estimate right now. I still have the last episode to go. And, you know, like all episodes, it's like an hour long, which I do think is a little long for a episode of a thing. I don't like to sit down for an hour unless it's like, you know... I do find it's hard to get through each episode of the show with how long it is, but I guess I can see each episode goes through a single volume and has like a ton of different arcs, and it'd be weird to cut it up into like smaller episodes, I guess. I don't know. Pluto is a show I am enjoying, but also it feels more like an obligation than a lot of the shows that I have been going through. If only because each episode is an hour long, and, you know, as it goes on, it becomes less about, you know, big adult robots who fuck, and more about some fucking kid who I really don't understand how that works. Like, is Astro Boy always gonna be a kid? Does he ever become an Astro Man? They always treat him like a kid. But, like, if he ends up, like, living a long time, wouldn't he become, like, older than adults? And there are adult robots who, I assume, they didn't start out as kids. They started out as robots. So how does that work? I don't get it. You start off with a basic hand and slap people to get slaps, and unlocks gloves with more abilities. So it's like Gun Game from, like, shooters, except with melee weapons. Gotcha. Neat idea. I bet I'll say I'm sure people are doing really interesting things in Roblox. It's just I don't know. I'm of the opinion I missed the bus. I missed the thing. I say I missed it. It was a thing aimed at kids in an era where I was not a kid. You know. It's one of those things like Five Nights at Freddy's, where it's just after my time, you know. Like, yeah, if it had been out like 5-10 years earlier, like I probably would have gotten into it. Maybe, I don't know. But I didn't because it was out when I was an adult. And I wasn't really into such things. Also, I'm not really a horror guy. Slap Battles is fun. There are a lot of fun games. There's also, of course, a mortal thought, I'll say, the question of time. You know, I don't have unlimited time. I mean, I do have a lot of, like, Thursday streams that I can commit to, like, whatever I feel like, right? Like, those are variety nights, so those could be anything. Could even be a slap battle. Yeah, I could even do a Thursday stream where I did some of that. Did some Minecraft. I can revisit. I can try games out all I want, and it's like free, so you know it even wouldn't cost anything, which is usually a good thing that I look for in a Thursday type stream. You know, I've done many Game Pass streams where I just played Game Pass games because I have free access to those and I don't have to worry about buying them, and it's just a great way to try out like a half dozen games all in a short span. N64 Online is also pretty good for that, as are the other like classic console things. Hey! We did it! Ah, it's a checkpoint! Okay, timer's about to run out, so let's hope we can get through it in like a couple tries, I guess. I'll say again the thing I say, which is that, this doesn't mean the end for this level if we can't complete it here and now. We can always replay it, it can always be resubmitted. Such things are options. What does that mean? What are these indicators? I don't know what these indicators are for, but whatever. Job, Jesus. Let's get the timer down and pull up the last try. Sorry about the Windows sounds, again. Hotkeys are sometimes weird about that stuff. Okay. That's nothing. It's a note and going away. Okay. Let's do it. 4 tries left. 3 tries left. You missed a lot? Everyone misses a lot, I think. Oh. Everyone has blind spots. I mean, I talked the other, like, a stream or two ago about franchises I should try. I suppose, like, Roblox is one of them. You know, Resident Evil is one of them. There are games even from, like, the eras where I was alive that were pretty popular that I just said, nah, I don't know. You know? And I've heard people who have blind spots of, like, never having played a Mario or a Zelda before. Those are blind spots I don't understand. Like, goddamn. Like, I can understand not having played, like, Donkey Kong, right? Like, okay, sure, like, it's not everyone's jam, you know? Not everyone was the right age at the time where DKC hit, and it was, like, the biggest thing. You know, and everyone loved it, and it was the best thing ever. Thank you for the level. Jesus. Good attempts, yeah. Merry Christmas to you, though. Ah! No! Time! What time it is right now, you wonder? You ask. Well... Ignore the window sound. It is time now for the lightning round. During the lightning round, we will have only 5 tries to beat each level that comes our way. 7 for subs, for Twitch subs, you know, the ones who pay money. And also for the first person of the night. And bonus subs get, the bonus heads come in a variety of shapes. Including some new ones, relatively new ones. Like, look at that, Daisy is relatively new. Added those ones recently. And we also added the other day the yellow toad, which I guess is after Wario and Waluigi because yellow starts with a Y. Blue toad is under Toad, so it's like in the middle where Toadette is. Go figure. But anyway, those are the new ones. Let's we also got Yoshis here. Look at these. Yoshis. Very lovely Yoshis. Those are all the heads that we just like rolled through. Let me randomize these and also right now see who is up next. Oh, it's Will of Thor. Will of Thor is here. I see Will of Thor doing emotes. Lovely. Love to see it. Let me go ahead and pull down. Let me stop the thing. Pull it. Okay. Let me stop the thing. Wario heads. We got Wario heads on deck. Very good. Will of Thor says good luck. 7 tries, refreshing at checkpoints. Let's go. And if you're wondering, like, some people have wondered, like, how long does the lightning round last? The lightning round lasts until the end of the stream. It is what we do for the second half of the stream. If you want to get in a full 15 minutes, my advice always to arrive like in the first hour of the stream or so. Typically you get it in around that time. You should be good. We do these streams every Friday at 6 p.m. Central. I don't know if like Xmas week I'm gonna like take a break or something. Honestly, I wouldn't mind taking a break from streaming for like a week around the holidays, you know, just to like relax and chill and decompress and get ready for the new year and the new gig and stuff, you know. But I like streaming and I like telling people about like, oh, you know, by the time like New Year's comes around, I'm gonna have a top 10 list. I'm probably gonna want to show you that. I'm gonna have of games. I'm gonna have a top 10 list of anime. I'm gonna want to show you that too. So we'll see what happens. Still, next week I think we'll definitely be doing a stream. We'll see about the week between New Year's and Christmas. Maybe later on. Let's go. This level looks very doable. I like these cloud platforms. They're pretty nice. Reasonably nice. They're not too unkind. It's too bad that they can't be synced, you know, after the first one. They end up being entirely unsynced just as a result of how movement works in this game. But what are you gonna do? You know, unless they introduce a sequel, a feature in Mario Maker 3 where you can like synchronize platforms or something, like moving platforms or something. You know, I said before it'd be cool if you could synchronize it so that like all things like come onto, that all things like start. It'd be cool if you could like group up objects and have them like start as soon as like one of them came onto screen, right? So that you could have big moving platforms moving in sync like this one, right? But I suppose also it'd be cool if you could have that work based on other things like, say, enemies that start moving once you hit certain triggers or something, right? Or like, you know, maybe like you could have it so that they are stationary until you step on one blue platform, at which point they all start moving in tandem. That would be an interesting way to do it, actually. I'll say right now, as far as like upcoming stream plans, Immortal Tots, my current plan for right now is I'm gonna be finishing off Heart of the Swarm, StarCraft 2, the second campaign of that, next Monday. And on Thursday, next Thursday, I'm planning on revisiting some Game of the Year games. Some games that I'm considering for my Game of the Year list. Such as, you know, there's quite a few of them. Like Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Wonder, Pikmin 4, Sea of Stars, A Space for the Unbound. That's probably the most obscure one on the list that I have in my top 5. Definitely want to play a little Pizza Tower as well. I never played that on stream on account of playing it entirely off stream over the last few days, few weeks, and yeah, we'll definitely do that. Have a lot of games I want to play to refresh myself on them and to put them into context of each other. And that'll be next Thursday, and probably an additional stream after that too. Maybe like next Saturday or something. I don't know. We'll see what makes sense. We'll see what makes sense for that. Maybe next Sunday, I don't know. I could do a Sunday stream. Or next Monday, like the Monday after next. We'll see, we'll think about it. I'm gonna think about that. We'll figure that out in the coming days. Thank you for the level, Will of Thor. I am hitting complete. Logic Eddie. Logic Eddie, you are up. Let me hit next to do the current level thing. Logic Eddie says, okay, fantastic. Get the bonus heads down. Again, those are for Twitch subscribers who pay money to the channel. Now, if I were to get to the point where I could have YouTube membership, yeah, I would extend the same thing to YouTube members. You need like 500 subscribers on YouTube to get there, and we're like about 10% of the way. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that over the next couple of years. I'll say I've only been streaming to YouTube as well as Twitch since they allowed it, and that was only like a couple of months ago. So, you know, there's still time to grow, you know, and we're still growing as a channel on that side. That said, I have always posted the VODs over there, and I still do. The VODs still get posted over there, and they are quite nice. Alright, let's do this level from Logic Eddie. Let's see, what do we want to do? Pyramid, Dune, Ground Pound, Light in the Night, Jungle Runner. Is there anything icy themed and or like Xmas-y? Let's find like the most Xmas-y level. Let's go with ice themed. Yeah, or like Xmas themed, you know? Christmassy. Top mountain. How about this? In the mountain, isn't it silent? Maybe she is there. Contains 3 star coins. How's about this? Does this sound good? It's music, it's single player. Let's go. It's a bit Christmas style. A bit Christmas style, that's right. That's how we describe this season. A bit Christmas style. I like the thing where you amend style to the end of words, like regular style, normal style, Christmas style. This is challenging. I accept the challenge. Let's go. I'll say we can always retry a level. We can always resubmit it. It's just that in the lightning round, you know, things keep moving. So we'll get to the next level pretty quickly, etc., etc. Didn't know that's how music blocks a note, but that makes sense. This is a shell jump, isn't it? Or is it?
Oh no!
What's with the thing? The tire? I wonder. This one might be difficult. The clear rate wasn't that bad, so we'll try our best. I'll say I can do a you know, I can do in the shell jump from time to time. Hello, Paul. How you doing? The music is looped. Gotcha. That's pretty good. What is this from? I got you, Paul. Ice physics are throwing me off here. Like, we gotta get up to speed. We gotta jump at just the right time. Difficult. Frick. Oh, jeez. Is this from something, the music? It must be a run shell jump. Okay. So gotta get up to speed. Difficult to get up to speed before the guy spawns. It's not from anything? Gotcha. Can I just, No, that's not high enough. That's not high enough. It seems like we're sort of supposed to do it against the right-hand wall. But can we do it against the left-hand wall? I feel like that might be easier to get a running start for.
Oh no!
Look there, blue indication. Yes. I can see that. Let me do another card while the music is setting itself up again. I'm looking forward to whenever the new Rascal Does Not Dream Of movies show up in the US. Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl and of Bunny Girl Senpai is a very good series that had one previous movie that was, I'll say it's one of my favorite shows out there. It's one of my favorite shows. It's sort of like a paranormal, some mystery show where like each arc is a really good little self-contained mystery, and also there's like a romantic comedy part to it as well. Like the main characters are like romantically involved, and they're a very good power couple that's figuring their way out through, like, you know how in Buffy the Vampire Slayer how there's a few like arcs where it's like, oh, a girl is invisible because people think she's ignored a lot, right? It's kind of a show that has a lot of arcs like that, where something paranormal is going on based on the metaphor of high school, and it's all really well done. And apparently they put out like 2 anime movies of it last year in theaters in Japan, and no fucking idea when any of that is going to come to America in a wide release, which is always an annoying thing, I will say. And I'll say, like, shit, 2 whole movies worth? I'll say I thought that, Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl is, like, one of my favorite anime movies of all time, so, like, whenever they put out these last 2 movies, these next 2 movies, and there's, like, a 3rd one on the way, apparently, a 3rd new one on the way, I will watch them. I will go out to a theater and I will see them. Just stand still and jump. Oh, you can stand still and jump? Okay, shit. I thought it had to be a run. Thought you had to do it at a run. It mustn't be a shell jump. Oh! I misread that. I thought you said must, not mustn't. Very few people say mustn't. You understand the confusion there. It mustn't be a shell jump. All right, that's gonna work. All right, that's way easier. What the hell is this?
Oh no!
Fuck. Oh, that was the last try. We ran out of tries. That was an interesting second area. I think I needed to throw it left and then like time it such that I landed when it was like midway through. That was the first level we couldn't complete this stream. Let me go ahead and pull up the next one. The next one is from Caraspino. Go ahead and confirm Caraspino. You know what to do. And I'll say again, you can always resubmit a level so long as the queue is open, etc., etc. Yo, says Caraspino. Yeah, dude. Here's another card. Also, the Haikyuu movie is coming up. Apparently, that's in theaters next year. I love Haikyuu. It's also one of my top 5 shows of all time. Rascal is like a top 10 show for me. I think Haikyuu is like a top 5 show for me. And it's doing a movie for its next arc, and that's in theaters next year in Japan, like in February. And goddamn, I hope they put it in American theaters like sooner rather than later, because I want to see what happens in the next arc of Haikyuu, and I hope it's just as good as a season would have been. I think a season would have been longer, so that's, I think, kind of a bummer, but whatever. This is a really exciting arc of the show. It's hard but possible? Okay. Good to know. Forest of Shellusion. Kaizo Light air level. Full jumps. Okay. Thanks for the encouragement. I hope that movie comes out sooner rather than later. What? So... Ah, that's what we need to do. With that, we need to do like a full jump. We're figuring this out. Eh? That guy was kind of in the way. Z! Jump. We need to do a spin jump there. Last try. All of a sudden. I'll say again. Always resubmit levels. What do we do here? What's the deal with that shell jump? Or, not shell jump, but that thwomp. Seems like he's, like, kind of in the way. Again, can always resubmit, Caraspino. Don't mind. Don't mind. Lord Bowser is up next. Lord Bowser, please confirm. Do a thing. You can always resubmit. In fact, I would love it if you did. Or, you know, do whatever you like. Whatever level you please. Well, Lord Bowser's confirming, I'll do another card, and I'll say, hey, I started rewatching like 2 nights ago after I finished Kono Oto. I was sort of holding myself and being like, okay, I gotta finish rewatching this music anime before I can rewatch what might be 2022's anime of the year, Bocchi the Rock. Which, goddamn, rewatching Bocchi the Rock now. Bocchi the Rock is fucking phenomenal. If you don't know Bocchi the Rock, it's a anime from a year ago wherein a, like, very socially anxious girl, joins a band and, you know, rocks out. And the thing about her is she has, like, crippling social anxiety, but also she is, like, she's like a self-taught rock god. She is, like, extremely good at, playing the guitar, and whenever she she plays her guitar, you listen to it and go like, oh yeah, she kicks ass. This kicks ass. I want to hear her like shred and shit, and it's so good. She's a wonderfully lovable character, and it is just a wonderfully well animated show as well, with tons of weird like animation flair. It mixes in like some live action, some like odd squiggle vision type styles. It does so much weird shit, lets the characters like deform and get weird when like they are having a real distraught, like you know, anxiety ridden moment. It is a perfect show, and I would highly recommend anyone who hasn't seen Bocchi the Rock, check out fucking Bocchi the Rock. It's fucking the best. I've watched 4 episodes so far over the course of 2 days. Meant to just watch 1 last night, but I ended up watching 3 because I kept feeling like, okay, I want to see what happens next. I know that pretty soon here, they're gonna do a performance. And, goddamn, you know, every episode up until the point where they're doing performances on the regular, they're great, but there is a sense of like, okay. We gotta get to the performance, though. We gotta get things together. We gotta get the band together. Things have to get up. And, yeah, it's fucking so sublime. I'm just having a hell of a time rewatching it. Just like full fucking grin as the show does dumb ass shit and gets all weird with it on occasion. It is the perfect show. And I think that, I'll tell you, like, as I was rewatching it, I went into my, like, favorites list on AnnieList.com. You know, the site where I put together a whole... I keep track of all the anime that I've ever watched, and I moved it up a tier. I moved it from, like, top 15 to top 10, because, god damn it, it should be higher. Honestly, Bocchi the Rock might be a top 5 show, you know, with further seasons and, you know, more rewatches. I think it might be my favorite music anime with more content. I think K-On! Kind of still takes the crown for that, but goddamn, it's a incredible show, and I am just... No part of it was, like, overhyped in my head. I am just having a phenomenal time rewatching it. It's just literally some of the best television out there. Bocchi the Rock, highest recommendation. If you didn't see it, check it out. If you did see it, consider rewatching it. Hey, it's been a year. Perfectly good time to do a rewatch of that. Thank you for the Little Lord Bowser. I'm hitting complete. Logic Eddie. Logic Eddie, you are up. Go ahead and confirm. You know what to do. Logic Eddie. Meanwhile, I'll do another card. Do y'all travel for the holidays? I know that is a thing a lot of people do for the holidays, you know? A lot of people, during the holiday season, they, like, leave their homes and travel, like, halfway around the country or something to, like, stay with family or, like, parents or something and do, like, a Christmas season vacation, a Christmas season trip. I will say, for my part, I've always lived, like, at most an hour away from family, so that's never been a thing I've had to do. You know, I see my family pretty often, actually. Let's find, like, one that is doable. How about... That has a clear rate of 2%. Let's go with this one. Animal Minions. Oh wait, let me give Logic Kitty like a minute more to say something before we jump in here. Logic Kitty, please confirm. Just making sure you don't have an old level. Gotcha. Good looking out, Paranus. I'll say, like, that is always a thing around the holidays, you know, it's always it's a weird thing not to travel, I guess, you know, in a certain way, because for a lot of reasons, content sort of slows to a crawl during the holidays. And you know, before I was a streamer, That was always something that was always frustrating, you know. There's always like, okay, well, I still want to consume as much YouTube, as much podcast, as much whatever as before, as much stream as before, but all the streamers are out of town, so that's not really a thing. That said, I think also the other part of it is that a lot of the viewers are also out of town, so I don't know, maybe it doesn't make sense to do like a whole bunch of streaming, let's say, around that time, even if you are free for it. But I don't know. I always think it's a weird thing. I always think it's a thing where I'm lucky in that I don't have to travel and that all I have to do is like a Christmas Day and a New Year's Eve night, maybe like one or two other like holiday season get-togethers, you know. Let's do it. I don't see Logic Eddie. I'm gonna put you into sudden death, Logic Eddie. Let me say though, if you chime in before the level is over, you can I will switch you over to the regular lightning round and convert the amount of lives you lost, or I lost, into regular lightning round lives. So speak up soon, you know? That is my my tip here. This is an interesting level. Dodging all these projectiles, sort of a bullet hell type level. I like it. It's very neat. Little slow is the only thing. Is, you know, it takes a while to get from this part to the part where it gets truly hard. Logic Eddie. Fuck! Little too high there. I thought it was low enough to go under. Logic Eddie, if you are here, go ahead and say something and I'll, you know, give you 3 more tries in lightning round fashion. But otherwise, we'll move on to the next person, which is Parnoose, who has been chatting this whole time. I think is good for it. I'll do another card while giving Logic Eddie a chance to speak up. My holiday plans, pretty straightforward. Like I said, I don't have to travel for it. My folk are just like 20 minutes away, so, you know, probably gonna hang out, do a dinner on like the Xmas Day. And then we actually have our actual Xmas celebration, like presents and stuff, like 2 days later, to account for brother-in-law's, my sister's husband, you know, account for his work schedule. So, you know, there'll be a couple days there where I'm doing Xmas stuff, giving gifts, and that's about all there is to say about that, I suppose. You know, I got the presents all picked out, all purchased, all ready to go. I just have to wrap them, and that shouldn't be too hard. Just like honest day's afternoon efforts, and it'll be done. I don't see Logic Eddie, so let's dismiss and get up Parnoose. Parnoose, you are up. Go ahead and confirm. Except Parnoose was saying something just recently. I think we're good, honestly, on Parnoose. Though, Parnoose, if you want to speak up, go ahead. That is always, like, appreciated. To know that people are, alert. You were the last one to chat, though, so I think you are good to go. Anyway, it is a very holiday time of year. All things seem to lead up for the holidays, and I'm happy to have everything picked up. All of my presents ready to go, and I think they're pretty good. A pretty good set of gifts this year. I hope they all appreciate it, and if not, like, get use out of them. Understand, like, how I came to think this was a good present, you know? That is how you gotta do. That is how you gotta do sometimes when you have a present. You know, you'd be like, okay, here it is. Doesn't this make sense as a thing I would get for you? Oh yeah, it does make sense. That's a good pick. This is an interesting level. I like it. Blue plats, Piezo light. It seems like parts... Whoa! I see what we have to do here. It's sort of fun how it's like all falling into place as you go. Fuck me! It's fun how it's all falling into place as you go. That's really neat. I like that aspect to it. It reminds me of, like, you know, there's that tropical freeze level, Preamble Scramble, that's named after the more famous level. But, you know, it's kind of like that level, in a way. Huh? Good luck, have fun. Thank you, thank you. What are we missing here? I think I don't need to turn around here. That's for, like, a second lap. I think this is the second lap. Get onto the switch. Okay, yeah. That was my first thought, honestly, but seeing the blue plats to the side threw me off. Okay. This is an awful Christmas-style stream. Awfully Christmas. It's starting to feel a lot like Christmas style. That's a good name for a stream. Starting to feel a lot like Christmas style. I'll put something... It'll probably be something like that when I do the VOD, you know? I like a good VOD name. I thought last week's name was pretty good. Didn't seem to get that much of a... I don't know, that much of a reception. Check out that VOD. And all VODs. Ah! If you please. We got a ton of VODs on the, you know, the YouTube. VODs need love too. And I'll say, What? I always appreciate whenever a VOD gets liked, you know, whenever I see a like on a VOD, that always makes me feel good. Like and subscribe and do all that stuff on the YouTube side, if you please. That just gives me all the, you know, the happy chemicals, you know what I mean? I don't know, you know, the happy chemicals that give you the positive feeling. What? Down? Huh? What? Fuck! Well, I hope to get another chance at that Parnassus, but it is the lightning round. You know what we should do? We should do an everyone gets bonus heads stream, one of these Christmassy streams, you know? That actually makes sense for the holiday season, to give bonus heads out freely, you know what I mean? Like, that is very festive in nature. A festive way to do things, you know? Okay, I'm gonna dismiss Lost. Lord Bowser is up next. Feel free to resubmit Parnassus. I think I could do that, given more tries at it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Bowser is here, confirmed. Perfect. What holiday media do y'all like to revisit, or whatever? I'll tell you, I'm not really that one much for a holiday special like the famous ones, but I do like to watch a holiday episode or two, you know, of like a show. The ones that most come to mind are like the Futurama holiday specials, you know, the Xmas episodes. I really like Xmas Story and the second Xmas episode a lot. Like, those two with Robot Santa and all that are just classics, are just like easily just like some of the best Christmas type watching to me. I guess as far as like other Christmas things, it's not quite Christmas enough perhaps, but I like Afternoon Delight, the episode of Arrested Development. I don't think I've ever rewatched it at Christmas, but that is kind of a Christmas episode of that show, and it's probably like one of the best episodes of that show as well, I'll say. Afternoon Delight is. There's that episode of there's some good like community Christmas episodes, but I don't think I've ever rewatched any of them. I've just maybe seen the memes of them in passing, and they are consistently good. Consistently good memes. What shows do y'all like to rewatch? Like, or episodes or specials? Like Bowser, you're here. Bowser, you're here. What do you like a holiday media? I know also, you know, there's holiday games as well, some of them. For holiday-like locations, I think of Freeze Easy Peak and Banjo. But, you know, you'd have to replay the whole Banjo-Kazooie. And while I like to do that, most of the game isn't, like, especially Christmassy. There is, like, a costume quest that's based on Christmas, which is an okay game. That game is very alright. It's pretty good. Maybe a solid, like, 4 out of 5. 3 out of 5, maybe? I don't know. I think in the grand scale of RPGs, I think Costume Quest is, like, something that was okay in an era that didn't have that many of them. You know? Like, sort of like how platformers were at the time, you know? When Mario... When, like, Mario... New Super Mario Brothers came out, right? It was in an era where there practically were no other platformers for the last like 10 years. And it feels like that's now restarted, you know? There are platformers now that are plenty good and people like. It's not just like a wasteland anymore. Like it used to be, which is very good. I like that. But it also means the standards are higher, you know? Like, Costume Quest compared to, like, a Sea of Stars is, like, probably, like, 2 out of 5, you know? Compared to games on the level of Sea of Stars or Chrono Trigger. But compared to games that were coming out in the era that it came out in, it's like 3 out of 5. It's fine. It was fine for its time. That is such a weird thing, in retrospect, right? Like, a game that's fine for its time, that's not fine for its time as in, like, oh, you know, there hasn't been, like, platformers as good as, that are that good yet. It's like, no, there have been platformers that were really good, but they were all, like, 15 years ago, you know, back before, 3D platforms. 3D consoles became the norm. Weird facet of the industry, I guess. The amount of genres that have, like, gone out of vogue and come back, like, acceptably okay, you know? A lot of genres, they come back, and they're not as good as they once were, but they're alright. You play them and you're just like, okay, well, this is no, Mario World, but Super Meat Boy is pretty damn good. Super Meat Boy was like one of the actually... That's unfair. Super Meat Boy is actually really good. I'll say, though, it's no Mario 1. You know, part of the reason Super Meat Boy was, like, phenomenal is that there hadn't been a goddamn good platformer in, like, 10, 20 years, and it was better than good. It was almost genre-defining. It was like a new genre, a platformer. People call it a splatformer. It gets its own designation because... It was just that, that exciting and that good.
Oh yeah, Mario time.
Thank you for the level, Lord Bowser. There's no other levels in queue as of yet, so... As of right now, so... Why don't we just continue on with Lord Bowser's, levels? We'll just continue on with the Super World, then. I will say, anyone who wants to get in a level, we will do yours, like, right away. There's never been a better time to submit a level than right now. Here's another card. I've been watching lots of older H-Bomber Guy video essays. I like video essays a bunch. It always feels like, though, it's hard to find, like, find them, you know? And those creators who I like that make them usually make them at a pace of around, like, 1 a year, 2 a year or something. H-Bomber Guy is no exception. He tends to make his video essays at around, like, 1 every blue moon, like maybe 2 a year tops. As a result, there's not that many to really choose from, but I've been going back and rewatching all the ones that sort of interest me. I'll say like some of them that are just like about like, oh, Fallout New Vegas is really good. I see that and I go like, whatever, that's fine. Skyrim is not as good. And, I don't really care to hear that much about Skyrim, actually. It's mostly stuff about, like, climate denial and stuff like that that I'm most interested in, you know? Like, just him breaking down an issue and making fun of people who are really wrong on shit, or up to some rank shit, like with the Roblox oof. That whole, like, what's that guy's name? The Roblox oof guy? Not the guy who did it, the guy who, like, owns the company. Famous guy, kinda. Arguably a famous guy. Whatever, I watched that whole video. Again, I quite enjoyed rewatching it. I also watched some think pieces on, like, random shows and media and stuff, which was neat. Very neat videos, all told, and they're often quite long, which is very nice. I like a good, long think piece, you know? I'll say I was, there's some other creators who have stuff I like in that same vein, like, there's Sean, who is also a YouTuber who makes video essays and stuff. So I'll say I was looking back at, like, I was looking at Sean going like, ooh, well, actually, like, if I'm looking for more in that vein, Sean is actually a pretty good choice, but I was looking back on that and realized, like, oh shit, I didn't finish off the last video that Sean put up. And then I realized that, like, oh, right. Most of this video is, like, just like excerpts of YouTubers who I don't know, just being, like, super racist. And the idea is like, oh, this is, so they no longer have deniability, right? They, in this video, I put together a compilation of them being really awful and miserable, and, they can no longer get away with saying, like, oh, I'm not a real big transphobe, because, like, oh, here on video is footage of you being big and awful transphobe. And that's, like, I guess this is valuable for, like, making sure people can't get away with it, get away with that crap, but it's not good to watch. At a certain point, it's just like, oh, this is just an hour of clips of someone being, like, awful, and I don't know who they are, and I don't care about them. So, what do I care? Yeah, someone's transphobic on the internet. I could have told you that already, that there are awful transphobes out there being horrible. Like, I don't need to watch, like, a whole hour of it. I guess that's a weird thing, like a weird, like, point of distinction. A weird fine line to draw. There was a checkpoint, wasn't there? Yes. So this is our first life after the checkpoint. I suppose there's, like, a fine line, right? Between, like, oh, you're making fun of, like, global warming deniers and, like, such. And that's fun to do, to make them look like idiots, to, like, thoroughly, like, make fools of them. And it's another thing to just put their words on screen and just go like, yeah, it's awful, isn't it? Like, yeah, it's awful, but could you also, like, make fun of them? Like, I'm here for you making fun of them. I don't like to actually hear, right-wing revisionists and all that without the context of we're having a laugh at their expense, Like, that part, I feel, is essential to the format. Otherwise, you're just giving them airtime to espouse their evil beliefs and not mocking them enough for it. You gotta mock them. It's important. There's another level in the books. Just gonna keep going through cars. I only have, like, a few other ones left. We're running towards the end of this here, I'll say. Did you see that Wish got nominated for awards? I saw some people. I'll say, I heard that Wish sucked shit and was horrible and like the worst Disney princess movie that they've ever done. And I had card for that like on previous streams, and then I said like, it seems like just needless negativity, you know? I haven't seen this movie. I have no interest in seeing this movie. And the fact that it's bad is kind of amusing, but it's not that big a deal, is it? Well, now that it has, like, run awards, been nominated for awards that could have gone to, like, you know, people were saying of the first one that was, like, I don't know, the Emmys or something. They were saying, like, oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles should have gotten nominated instead of Wish. What the fuck is that doing on the list? It's goddamn terrible. And then there was another one that also was, like, full of ones that were, like, questionable, you know, where it was, like, the same deal, and Wish got on there. I forget what awards they were, other than, like, probably the big ones that exist, or, like, BAFTAs or something. Who knows? Who cares? But,
Oh yeah, Mario time.
you know, it is a thing that you can look at and go, like, ah, what the fuck? Again with the bad nominations for animated things. It is as if the people who nominated don't give a fuck and don't actually watch the shit, and really probably shouldn't be nominating that crap. I'll say for my part, I would say that the Kaguya movie, which came out in America this year, so it counts, the Kaguya movie, The First Kiss That Never Ends, probably should have been on the list as well, I'll say, as far as what I think are like snubs, but I understand if they haven't seen Kaguya-sama, it's a sequel to that, and yeah, it'd probably be awkward to watch without, like, the context of 3 seasons worth. But I still think it was the best animated movie of the year. You know. And I'll say, by the way, I don't have a problem with Mario is really good. Mario should have been nominated. If it wasn't nominated for any of those, it was a mistake. Mario is definitely, like, one of the top animated movies of the year. But I would put, like, I would put that over Suzume. Suzume, I don't think Suzume was, like, that good. It was, like, probably the worst version, the most... Yes, that's true, the Mario Wonder bosses suck. I'm talking about the movie, Mario Brothers animated movie, Bowser. But anyway, you know, all that said, it doesn't really matter, and like with all award shows, you can always look at them and go like, well, I got my own people that I listen to, and that come up with their own list at the end of the year. You know, like, it was the case with Game Awards for me, and always has been the case with Game Awards. Game Awards usually gets it wrong as far as I'm concerned, and, I like other awards proceedings more. I didn't play. They made your kid sick? Gotcha. Oh, you're talking about Bowser Jr., Lord Bowser. Gotcha. Okay. I thought you meant an actual kid for a second. I'll say as far as other like Game of the Year type stuff goes, I was very happy to see that Giant Bomb put a website that I really like. Put Tears of the Kingdom as their Game of the Year. I think that's the correct choice. No matter how much people like that Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, that is like a triumph of a game. And I think it is in the running for like best game of all time, honestly. Let alone best game of the year, like. Hey, Paul. Your bosses are better? I would agree with that, Lord Bowser. Like, yeah, I would agree that, you do better boss fights than, Mario Wonder did, sadly. Part of the reason for that is that they did basically the same type of boss fight that you can do in Mario Maker, so it's very easy to compare these boss fights and Mario Wonder's boss fights. They're just like Koopaling boss fights, but with less going on. Because they're not Koopalings, it's Baby Bowser or Bowser Jr. and, you know, how much can you do with Bowser Jr.? We're gonna keep on carrying on. Here's another card. Did you hear about the movie from Gamescom, Rebel Moon? Apparently it sucks ass. In other, like, suck-ass news, apparently that Rebel Moon movie's turned up. The one that was, like, got a whole, like, 10 minutes at, like, Gamescom. Part of that Gamescom press conference that kind of sucked. And, it turns out it also sucks, so it is even more funny now, in retrospect, that they spent, like, 10 minutes, like, pimping that, movie. That the fact that it's, really a stinker. Apparently that movie's got like a 32% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not pretty. That all makes sense to me. Good for it. I say good for it. Obviously it's not good for it, but I don't know. I think it's amusing to know that the promotion was so misplaced, misguided, etc. Whap! Pulled it out. Hey, what do you know? How do you like that? Anyway, not to dump on stuff, but I don't know. I like to dump on stuff occasionally. I'll say part of the magic of Game of the Year season, the holiday season for me, is that it is the time where you get to quantitatively compare games, you know? Like, the rest of the year, it's very simple to say, like, yeah, Mario Wonder is, like, phenomenal. To say things like, okay, Mario Wonder, Pikmin 4, Tears of the Kingdom, Sea of Stars, they're all phenomenal games. And that's all you need to say about them, you know? They're all 5 stars. They're all favorites. But when Game of the Year comes out, it's suddenly time to say, like, okay, Tears of the Kingdom is number 1. And number 2, probably gonna be Pikmin 4. And then you go down the list and you keep on, you know, directly comparing games until you have 10, at which point you stop because you're probably out of games that are, like, worthy of it, you know? Let's do another card. I think I'm nearly out of cards. Follow up on weird capture card issue. So I mentioned, like a week or two ago, that I was having an issue where my capture card was, like, shutting down when I was, like, restarting my computer. I think the problem is that recently I've had to, like, cut power to the computer. I basically put it into hibernate and then put it to sleep. Or like cut the power so that it doesn't like wake itself back up. Because it can't turn itself back on if it doesn't have any goddamn power. But I've been seeing a weird issue where after that, the capture card doesn't work anymore until I like unplug and replug it. So I put together a little thing that would like allow me to like turn it on and off by hitting a switch. Except that I realized after I put that in, it caused like the frame rate to drop precariously. So I had to stop doing that and just fucking live with the computer being weird. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I'm living with the computer being weird and yeah, it kind of blows, but what are you gonna do? That said, I have been looking at a thing. Let me do another card light right here. Follow up on new PC plans. I've been looking into the new PC plans. I've been looking around trying to figure out like what parts that I want, what specs are good, and you know, how much to spend. I do plan on like being maybe a bit more of a chonker than my last PC, than this PC. You know, last time I got an i5, which was good enough for like, you know, for like casual video gaming and stuff. This time I'm planning on getting an i7, which is like, you know, 2 numbers higher, so it must be really good. I've been planning on getting a new PC. I've been meaning to get a new PC for a while, I'll say, by the way. But since I got a new job lined up, I've been feeling like, okay, it's finally time to go ahead and buy a new PC. Get that whole thing invested in. Now is the time to start spending some money again. Now that I have that whole lined up and it's looking pretty good. But I've been looking into parts. I'm thinking Core i7. I think that's going to be good for like, you know, I'm a streamer now, so I need to be able to have like something that's a little more chonky that can handle OBS and also maybe a video game at the same time I need to do like a PC game, for instance, and you know, occasionally I do PC games, so it makes sense. Like when I did Metroid Prime 2 randomizer, I was really worried about performance because I just didn't know if it would run right, and it ran mostly good. But if I had a chunkier PC, I could be more assured that like, okay, I don't have to worry about this. I can just use the hardware, and it can just work every time, and we can just go max settings and not worry so much about like, oh, the frame rate in this is really sucking ass. Let's turn it down to medium. Like, nope. On older games, we'll never have to worry about settings again. And you know, I tend to replay a lot of games as stream games, so you know, that is kind of what I'm looking at. I want to be able to just play any randomizer, even like potentially like Wii or Wii U randomizers emulated, you know, while streaming without necessarily worrying about performance. That said, I don't know that there are really that many randomizers that are not, you know, that are not on stuff that's older than a GameCube. But, no, I at least know that there's Metroid Prime randomizers. I know that there's Metroid Dread randomizer, which probably would be cool to check out. Shit, man, I guess with a new PC, it seems very conceivable that, like, a Nintendo Switch randomizer would not be off the table. Whereas now, it's like, oh man, that would run at probably 5 frames a second on this, you know, 8-year-old PC, this 7-year-old PC, you know? Keep in mind I own Dread, so it'd be fine to play it on whatever platform I please, and also with, you know, randomization. That's the only way you can't play it on actual hardware. You know what I mean? Anyway, I've been looking into that. I think I know the graphics card. I would like to get like liquid cooling because that sounds good to me. That sounds fancy. I think that would be fun and good to have liquid cooling in there. I don't know what case. I don't know what graphics card. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what liquid cooling to get. So, I don't know what motherboard other than I want one with an absurd amount of USB ports. I am looking into everything. I hope to order parts in the next week or so. Did I watch the Squid Game reality show? I didn't watch either Squid Game. I didn't watch the first Squid Game even. I heard that it was kind of a nightmare to put together. Like, I've heard a lot of horror stories out of the production of that, which are just really like hellish, you know? Makes it sound like one of the most horrific production that they've ever had. That's right, it's a ghost ship. It's a cool way to do a ghost ship. I like how you've done the thing. Have you seen Physical 100? No, I don't know. What's Physical 100? I've never heard of Physical 100. Is it anything like the 100 girlfriends who really love you? I, again, highly recommend the 100 girlfriends who really love you. It seems like it has a very good shot at being my anime of the year. Oshi no Ko is also up there. I don't know. I'll think about it. You know. I gotta think about it. It's a reality show based around physical games on Netflix. Physical games. So like Squid Game then, basically, right? I'm not really much of a reality TV show guy. I don't really watch any of those. Like, I watched a couple of them in the past, like years and years ago. Mostly cooking shows. I watched like Top Chef. I've watched a bunch of stuff. What streaming services do I have? Most of them. Plus Crunchyroll and High Dive. Most of the main ones. I have Amazon, I have HBO, I have Hulu, I have Disney. I have Crunchyroll and Funimation. I don't currently have access to Netflix, though my sister has an account that sometimes I have shared in the past. They got real weird about, like, how that works recently, so... You know, she did offer to, like, just go ahead and, Oh, I see how this works. I need to hit a thing, get a ball. My sister did offer to pay for, like, you know, personal, like, Netflix stuff for a while, but, I said, I don't really watch Netflix that much. I don't really feel like you should pay for it. Don't. And, you know, I haven't watched that much Netflix as a result. Still sometimes do, you know, when I'm over at my folks' house or something like that. They got set up with the extra Netflix, extra houses, extra account thing, you know, so it's not completely off the table to watch Netflix for me, but I don't usually watch it so much these days, considering I don't have it. Don't ask how I'm watching Pluto. Ooh, it's magic. Ooh. Again, I have you know, my family has an account. You know, sometimes I go over there and watch there. You could just assume that I'm, you know, doing that, I suppose. Not outside the realm of possibility. Maybe we'll re-up. I don't know. There's only 8 episodes of that, so it's easy to watch, like, you know, one at a time, while having the legal access to the thing. Again, my folks aren't that far away.
Oh no!
You made this boss easier? Gotcha. Ninja Scroll. I don't know Ninja Scroll. I don't know Ninja Scroll, no. Is that like a Ninja Warrior or something like that? Kinda sounds like sort of a Ninja Warrior type thing. Okay, let's do it. We have 2 tries left. I'll say, we fail here, we do have to do a thing. One of the first anime movies that blew up in America. Oh, like a historical thing? Gotcha, okay. Like in the past, you mean? I'll say I don't really like, most of the anime I've seen is like newer. Like, say, within the last, 5, 10, 20 years. You know, with an honest preference towards, like, stuff that's even newer than that. Like the very newest stuff. Well, crap, we, couldn't finish this level. That's the lightning round for you. We do have to do something here. On account of, we did lose our lives, and that has to mean something. But there is no other levels in queue at the moment, so... You know, hey, Paul, if you have something for me, now's a great time. If anyone watching has a level for me, please, go ahead and get that in there. I'll do another card for the now. Show the horrible shirt pictures again. Right, I showed this during the last Extra Life stream, which was on Sunday. I had to do, like, 1 extra stream for Extra Life. I had to kind of do 3 streams for Extra Life. The last one was just Mario Party 8. Went only 4 hours, so it was pretty normal length. So it was good. I have seen Akira. Yeah, I've seen Akira. People really didn't, no one knew what Akira anime was until Akira and Ninja Scroll. I thought like Astro Boy and like Speed Racer were the first like breakout successes, breakout hits. Maybe that was more, they were just seen as cartoons in that time rather than being their own distinct thing. And I guess Acura in particular is like a, it has like nudity in it. Like you see that and you go like, what the fuck? This is a cartoon and there's boobs? What the fuck is this shit? You would maybe be like pretty knocked on your ass if you had no idea what you were getting into going into that. I think Acura is okay. I'm not really as into it as more modern fare. Anyway, I showed this shirt off last on Sunday's stream, but basically it was a really horrible shirt that was sent around Dan Reichert's community. As you can see there, I signed it, as did a bunch of other people, including his parents, his dad, his mom, his sister, and a bunch of other people from his community. And it's a really horrible shirt, as you can see. Hey, Ratchet Toad. Like, it's fucking fallen apart to the point where as he was, like, standing up and having to, like, move around, it was just, like, practically falling off his goddamn body. And, ridiculous thing. You had to see it. It was a hell of a thing. It was on MinMax's charity stream. I showed these pictures off on my last charity stream, but Dan Reichert wore it on MinMax's charity stream, which, MinMax is a big outlet made out of former Game Informer people. It's pretty big and very cool. Definitely one of my favorite, video game outlets out there. Also, the shirt has, a doll stitch into it, as you can see, which is just an absurd thing for a t-shirt to have, I'll say. Hey, Ratchet Toad, if you have a level for us, I would love to play it. I just did Lord Bowser for a while, since there were no other levels in queue, but you came in at the perfect time to get a level in right away. I'll say also, Paul, anyone in the YouTube chat, please, now is a great time to do that. Your level's being played, Lord Bowser. I haven't dismissed it yet. There we go. There's Ratchet Toads. Okay. Now I'm gonna put it as complete because we did complete a lot more levels than we didn't complete. So, there you go. Feel free to re-add right now, Lord Bowser. And anyone else waiting at home. Perfect. I'm almost out of cards, so there'll just be a few of those left. In fact, here, I'll pop one right now. Tried to go to Boston Market, found an empty husk. Hello, Sugoma 96. How you doing? Thank you for the level. I tried to go to Boston Market the other day, thinking oh man, one thing about that shirt is that I actually didn't receive it in the mail. I actually signed it at Boston Market. Another member of Dan's community lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we met at Boston Market, and I signed it. And I guess because I was thinking about that, I was thinking oh, I could go for some rotisserie chicken. I love how sweet it is and how tasty it is. And then I went there around 7 p.m. and despite saying that they're open until 10, they were fucking closed. You couldn't get in, and also they had a sign up saying we're all out of half of our sides. There's no mac and cheese, there's no cream spinach, there's no meatloaf, and I'll say I like a half chicken, so that's meatloaf thing's not a problem, but cream of spinach and mac and cheese, those are two of the things I like to get at Boston Market. Damn shame. And I was looking around the area thinking okay, I'll just go to the next closest one. There's two in the area. Not anymore. Now there's one in the area because the one that's second farthest away from me closed as well. Permanently closed. I think it's gone. And looking at this Boston Market that's in Plano, I think it's also going away. It's dilapidated, it's falling apart, the lights don't work anymore. Apparently, there was a review saying, the ceiling inside is, collapsed in there. So, Boston Market, not long for this world. Damn shame. I really enjoyed Boston Market while it was a restaurant that would serve you food. I like the rotisserie chicken. I like the taste of it. It's so like sweet and like sugary and just like the best chicken skin I can imagine. Plus those sides really go well with the roll. I like to take a bite of cream spinach or a bite of the roll, a little bit of the skin, a bite of the roll, and then just go in all hog on, you know, all my sides and stuff after I finish the roll. I will miss it dearly, knowing that, well, it seems to be going away and it won't be coming back. I see the objective here is to become, Mario. Let's think here. So there's an on-off. We can't go through here with the on-off. Oh, crap. If you toggle, you will kill Yoshi, so you're gonna wanna, like, get rid of this. P-block allows you to go over here. Oh, and also Yoshi comes back to life when you go through the P door, so okay. It's not irreversible. It's not, we weren't fucked there. This all seems pretty straightforward. I'm not sure, like, where this becomes a hard puzzle here. Nice. Anyway, rip Boston Markets. I will miss them. You know, I'll say it's not my favorite store that's gone under and, like, is no longer in my area. I would say that I really love the place called Spaghetti Warehouse, and that's, like, all the way gone now as well. Not even in Texas as a whole anymore. I'll say that this isn't as bad as that, but I will miss it, and it'll be, sorely missed. Church's Chicken is also a place that really isn't all that widespread anymore. I think there's just like one location in the like Plano area, which is a damn shame. I really loved Church's Chicken as well. It's sad when restaurant chains that you like close and are no longer a thing. Time goes on, I guess. Yeah, absolutely. You got more levels for me. Feel free to go ahead and get them in there. I always welcome more levels, let me say. I always welcome it. Lord Bowser is up next. That was a pretty simple, easy puzzle, as you said. Here's the last card of the night. After failing to get Church's Boston Market, I said to myself, I still want a rotisserie chicken, and I've heard good things about Cowboy Chicken, so I went to Cowboy Chicken and had basically my same order that I get at Church's, or at Boston Market. I got a half chicken, some mac and cheese, and some cream spinach, and I'll say, it's not really to my flavor, my preferences, honestly. I was kind of disappointed. The chicken was extremely smoky. It had a real smoky flavor, which to me just made it taste burnt. Not really something I'm into versus like the sweet, sugary taste of like Boston Market chicken. I definitely prefer that. I also prefer how Boston Market has a drive-thru, but I will say Cowboy Chicken was a lot cleaner on the inside, so it wasn't really as much of a problem to go into, you know. Whereas with Boston Market, you go in there and it's like, oh god, it's all greasy, it's slippery. You don't want to go into a Boston Market, but it's actually fine to go into a Church's Chicken, it turns out. That said, yeah, like the chicken was just not how I like chicken to taste. I like it to be sweet and juicy, not like smoky and like charred, you know? Not quite my thing. I also found the the spinach. The cream spinach was also not to my liking. Yeah, we're gonna get through the boss no problem this time, that's correct. I also found the spinach to be a little weird this time around at the Cowboy Chicken. had like a real taste to it that wasn't how I like chicken to taste. How I like spinach to taste. I guess I liked it to be more cheesy than like creamy. I don't know. Maybe this is how cream spinach is supposed to taste. And the way the Boston Market had it, the way that I like it, is just not the standard way for cream spinach to taste. I don't know. All I know is that I had it and I was like, ugh, this is kind of weird. Kind of not what I was looking for. So I don't think that Cowboy Chicken is going to be a replacement for Boston Market for me, sadly. It would have been nice if it was, but alas, not comparable enough. I will say it's like the Cowboy Chicken is not really that close to my home, but it is close to like my new office that I'm gonna be working at coming next year, so that's nice. I suppose I'll have to figure out like all the restaurants in that area where I'll be going for lunch when I'm working in the office. You know, I'm currently not sure like what the mix is of like if it's like hybrid or not or whatever, or like it's how many days a week, etc., in office versus not. But there are definitely going to be most of the week in the office, so definitely gonna have to like figure out like what's my routine as far as lunch goes. I think I'm gonna eat a lot more Five Guys. You know, Five Guys is actually pretty close to that office, closer than it is to home, so that's gonna be nice. The IKEA, this is kind of giving away the game because the IKEA is like in a very specific location in the Plano, McKinney type area. The IKEA is very close to the office, to the new office. So you know, I imagine I'll go for IKEA for like some spaghetti, from some Swedish meatballs a lot. I gotta imagine like Swedish meatballs will be a staple of like my lunchtime, my future lunchtime thing. The ramen place that I like is also really close by, though I'll say I haven't really loved their ramen recently. I don't know if I'm like just falling out of love with ramen or if just they've gotten worse at ramen in the last couple of years, but I don't know. Maybe I should look at like a new ramen joint or something. That might be a good idea. There are, of course, you know, loads of them out there, after all. I will say, I always do like their rice bowls, in any case, so even if I'm not, like, going in on their ramen anymore, I could still stand to go there for delicious ramen, or delicious, a delicious Oyakidon? I'm forgetting what it's called. Oyakodon, I think that's it.
Oh, yeah.
I love the, it's like a chicken, and it's like fried chicken and egg, and scrambled egg over rice. It's delicious. That's my favorite rice bowl, an Oyakodon. We beat it. Cool. I'll say, by the way, being we're all out of cards and all, let's go ahead. Tell you what, let's play Sugama's level, and then we will do last calls. And, that'll be a good way to do it. Level completed. Let me get this all processed. Sugama, you are up. Good, I see you. Perfect. We will do last call for levels after Sugama's, and I'll give Sugama a chance to get in another level. I like giving new viewers, possibly, maybe, a chance to get in more levels. That seems, you know, quite good practice to me. Thank you for the level, Sugama. Also, hey, I appreciate it. Hey, Breadbug95, also getting in a level. Fantastic. You came in at the right time, Breadbug. You might end up being one of the last levels of the stream. Anyway, what else would I want to do for lunch? I like Wendy's. I like Whataburger. Those are always good for like burger time lunch. I used to go to Steak and Shake a lot, but I think they've really fallen off recently. I don't think they're anywhere as good as they once were. The last time I went to Steak and Shake, it almost felt like a fairground, like a theme park burger, more than a proper restaurant burger. Maybe I should try like there's like that other steak burger and what's it called? It's Freddy's Burgers and Frozen Custard. I think that's maybe more what I should look for in like a a diner type burger joint. I don't know. Let's see, what is this test level? We got 5 tries, let's do it. Thank you for the level again. What else is good in restaurants? What else did I used to eat on the regular back when I worked in an office before like the pandemic? I used to have like spaghetti or ramen like once a week. Oh wow, this is cool. I like this Boo platform. That's pretty rad right there. Ooh, you going back and forth a bit. Ooh, that's fun. I like it. I like what you done here. I used to go to Spaghetti Warehouse a lot, but again, Spaghetti Warehouse closed, and also I moved pretty far away from where it was, so yeah, I don't know where I would go for spaghetti. For like a spaghetti lunch, if that's like a thing I want to do on the regular once I work at an office again. I'll say a weird thing about spaghetti in a restaurant is I always find it to be like the sauce to be like not to my taste liking. Not to my taste, I don't know. It's always weird compared to like what I have at home, you know? Like homemade spaghetti is delicious and I love it. But like whenever I have it at a restaurant, other than Spaghetti Warehouse, which is gone, it's always been just like a weird taste that's not quite what I'm looking for. You know? Maybe it just comes down to the sauce and like, I just like a good old-fashioned garden combination. And that's just not what they do. That's a very neat contraption. This level has some neat contraptions, Sugama. I think you can be proud. And I like how it routes you around in some real interesting ways. You know, you say this is just a test, but this has the makings of a very, very solid Ghost House level. It's very intuitive and, you know, flows really well as well. It routes you in such fascinating, such, like, neat ways. This is, top fucking notch. Let's go. So I would do, like, Wendy's, I would do Whataburger, I would do, Five Guys. Those were basically my bread and butter. I would occasionally, on a blue moon, do Subway. Since the pandemic, I've gotten into, Jersey Mike's. I could do Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is pretty good. What else is good for lunch? Boston Market, I would do Boston Markets, but like I said, that seems like it's gone the way of the dodo, so no more Boston Market. Church's Chicken, I would do Church's Chicken on occasion. Again, a store that you cannot find anymore. I'm gonna have to think more deeply and figure out what restaurants I'm gonna have in the new year. Obviously, that's not the first priority of, like, working a new job, you know? That's not, like, the first thing I need to figure out, but definitely something I'll be thinking a lot about as things go on, where exactly I'll want to, like, go for lunch. I'll say, as far as, lunch stuff goes, I like to, I'm happy to eat alone. I mostly eat lunches alone, at least at my previous gigs. I guess we'll see what happens in the new phase. Thank you for the level. I'm gonna hit, 1. Bowser, did you get back in your level? I don't see you in here, Bowser. Ratchet Toad is up next. But I will say, it is time now for last call. It is time now for last call for levels. During last call for levels, I will buy y'all some time to get in any last submissions that you have. And during such time, I will show off my own levels, which are quite nice. Recently, I've been going based on a theme, doing like levels that meet some criteria. You know, like say levels that are swimming levels or levels that are half water levels, something like that. How about for today? How many levels do I have that involve snowballs? Well, that actually limits things because snowballs were introduced with pokies. Pokies were introduced like a little bit in. So as far as levels with snowballs go, there's Burberry Bounty has snowballs. Return of the Wayward Binding does not have snowballs. How many of these ice levels that I've done have snowballs in them? Frosted Forest does not have snowballs. Does Pirates Peak 1 have snowballs? I don't think it did. Plunder Blunder does, though. Fair Boatyard does. That's enough for a last call. Let's just do every level that I think has snowballs in it, starting with Burberry Bounty. Now, I do believe that snowballs are, because of how restricted it is to certain themes. You don't even know what level you're submitting, Paul. Thank you for submitting anyhow. I appreciate it. Because it's limited to certain themes, as a result, it's a little hard to make levels around it. And as a result, I've only made a couple of them, I think, all told. That said, I think it's underappreciated, underused, and I think people should do it more. This level only has it like as a minor aspect. The major thing is more of these like platform rides and these like pokies, which are fun to jump over. Because it's like a slippery level, I put like a peg at the end of the platform, and as a result, when you jump on it, you sort of slide to the end. It's pretty slick, I think, this level. The theming got a little fucked up, like around here-ish, I think. But that's fine, you know, hey. Sometimes mistakes are made. This was a part of a whole series based around, like, using various, like, nighttime themes. This is, like, I think the only nighttime... Did I make a slippery level for my Super World? I forget. Yeah, it's pretty slick. Ah, there you go. That's right, it is slick. It is also wintry, which, you know, it's almost Christmas. Almost Christmas. Of course, it's not Christmas, you know. Almost Christmas means it's not Christmas. But it's almost Christmas. It's not really almost Christmas yet. In the sense of the meme. So, there are no snowballs in Wind-Up Woods, I think. Sadly, but I would like to show it anyhow, because it is a really goddamn good level. You know what, let's show it anyhow, because it is a very goddamn good level, and just a really good Christmas vibes type thing. One of my favorite levels, I think, is Frosted Forest. It is a climbing level, where you got these, like, these vines going up the trees, as well as enemies that are, like, climbing on the trees. And also, there's a bit of, like, situations where you go through a door and have to fall for a bit. And you can see there where you're gonna go, where you're gonna end up. You get a spike helmet, and that spike helmet makes it so that you can kill ghosts. Spike helmet, just one of the best items in Mario Maker, I think. Just one of the best fucking items in Mario Maker. It's almost a shame, really. When Drill was announced for Mario Wonder, I thought it was gonna be like as good as the spike helmets. I do think it's a little bit more neutered though, because you know the Drill cannot kill as many things as the spike helmet can. You know, like it can't kill ghosts, for instance. I feel like if the Drill could defeat like as many things as the spike helmet could, it would be a higher tier power up in Mario Wonder. But I do appreciate, like, how good it is, like, and how, you know, clearly influence was taken from Mario Maker for Mario Wonder, though. That's right, this is a traditional level that's not super easy. Also, hey, there's an extended falling part. Did y'all pick up on the fact that this is a vertical level? I did some very clever, like, little bit of sleight of hand to disguise the fact that this was vertical in nature till the very end. And, I hope someone who is like, you know, very cognizant of how level making works only realized was sort of like blindsided by that. It's a fun effect to put together, I'll say. If you're wondering how it's put together, how that illusion works, or like what I did to do it, let me just show you like real fast. I'll show you just like real fast. I've shown this like 12 times because, you know, every time I show this level, I have to be like, ooh, look at this. Can you zoom out on this? You can see here, like, here's the start of the level, right? And you go through a door and end up over here, except you don't really end up over here. You end up at the top. And I use this in order to make it so that, the level seems bigger than it is, so, you know, as far as you're concerned, this is contiguous space. And it looks like it's 3 screens wide, which would be impossible in, a vertical level, but it's actually just 2 screens wide, but with some sleight of hand. Which was a cool effect, I think, and one that I am extremely happy with. Okay, let's find one that actually has snowballs. Pirates Peak 2 didn't have snowballs, did it? No, that's an airship level. This one had bombs. That's kind of trippy. Hell yeah, I love it. Here, we'll do Plunder Blunder. This one has snowballs. Some big ones. This one's also one of my best. It's possible that most levels that I do are among my best. Honestly. Like shit. This here is another vertical level, but an unusual flavor of that. This is, a downhill level. In particular, you, go into a cave that is like sort of a loot cave, you know, where these pirates have stored their treasure. And you sort of go down level by level, getting keys and avoiding these, jumpy fellas as you go. And you can see here there's some fun stuff where like, oh, you know, you hit the switch, the guys that go down with you. You hit another switch, they go down further. And, yeah. Kill that guy, get a thing. It's always the guy who is the non-spiky fella that has the thing. For this level, snowballs are really more of a minor aspect. I'll say I don't think there's any level in my super world that really makes super worlds or makes snowballs a major aspect, which is kind of a shame, but you know, it's just sort of how it ended up being, you know, how the levels came together, the ideas that were right for them. Maybe once I'm done with my super world, a level that I would like to make would be a level that was like super heavy on snowball stuff, to the point of being more like a DKC3 style puzzle platformer level, you know? Where you have to take a snowball and hit it like a specific enemy. Here, those enemies are protected. You can't get them. So what are you gonna do? Well, go outside and find up. Find up, find out. I don't think exclamation point Q works to find the Q. List is the command you want to use for that. I think Q might work as well. Here you go outside and you get like a power block. List, try list. I should make it so that Q works as well, for what it's worth. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Alias of that. Always a million things you can do. Anyway, I think this is one of the better, like, high concept levels, you know? Having, like, this weird idea of being, like, a pirate's treasure haul, plunder blunder, you know? Trying to steal the treasure buried below is the last mistake you'll make. It's a plunder blunder. There was no snowballs in Bitter Boatyard, right? I don't think there were any snowballs in Bitter Boatyard, so that just leaves the last ice level that is in my super world, which I think had snowballs. I forget. Let's just play this one, and that'll be it for Bitter Boatyard is it's like a harbor. It's like a harbor level, Lord Bowser. There are ships, but it's more of a harbor than anything. We'll not do that one. It's like a harbor hidden under a snowy mountain. We'll do Cold Ice Comets, and then we will end last call, and we will go on. This is one of my newer levels from like the last couple of months. You know, I have been sort of on a hiatus as far as level making goes. Haven't really had the energy or the time to really make a level recently, but sometime soon I'd like to get back to it, you know? Maybe after I, like, get back to work, I will feel more motivated to, you know, make. I've always found that, like, despite holidays and vacations having, like, a bunch of time to do extra stuff on, I've been most productive when I've been at you know, while I've had, like, a work day to contrast against, I guess, you know? This level, you go uphill and then downhill. It's sort of inspired by, oh, you know what? There are definitely snowballs in this level. There are definitely snowballs in this level. It's not forced. Though you don't actually use them. There's spikes in this level, and they throw snowballs. That's right, okay. See? Look at there, snowball. In this case, it's more of a snowball avoidance level than a snowball using level. Hell yeah, okay, perfect. On theme. I'll say I think snowballs are maybe a little underused in the super world. I could do, like, with a level or two more of snowballs. It's just that, you know, you can only do it in snow levels, so it's a little restrictive as a result. With this level, I also wanted to do a level where it was you know, good and powerful to slide. You know, there's not enough levels where you just slide down a hill and jump with good timing. Which, by the way, hey, check this out, shortcut. You can just, like, jump down between these two guys and land on this tire. That's, like, your speedrun strat for the day. This is a hell of a level. All of my levels are hell of levels, I'll say. And I recommend you check out my levels and, you know, play them and leave likes and do all, you know, if you like them. Anyway, I always appreciate that. And, yeah. I feel like I was saying something, like, a little bit ago, and I forgot what I was saying. Anyway. Whoopsie daisy. That's gonna do it for last, call. I'm gonna close the queue. And we're gonna play out the last levels that are in the queue right now. We got 4 of them to go, so that'll be the rest of the stream here. If you're wondering why I just put Q open, it's because I now have 2 stream decks, one at the couch and one at the desk, and their commands are not synced up. So I opened the queue on the desk, and I was closing the queue on the couch, and it turns out it's like a toggle, one to the other. So I should probably do it in one place consistently, so that it's not weird like that in the future. Growing pains, you know. What are you gonna do? I'll say, really liking having 2 stream decks makes it more convenient to do like hotkey stuff from the computer whenever I'm over there. I don't have to like move this stream deck that I have over at the couch over to the desk anymore. Another thing that I decided to get because I have a new job and you know, as a result, feeling a little less I'm feeling more financially secure as a result, you know? I'm hungry. I can't wait to eat something after the stream. It's 10 p.m. It's too late for anything other than Whataburger, I guess. So I guess I could get like tacos or something. I'll say, hey, we were talking about lunches earlier. Tacos, that's something I can eat. I don't really like Taco Bell and such as much. I find them to be very spicy, even if you don't like order specifically anything really spicy, which is unfortunate. I like we need a 1-up here, by the way. I do like, though, we have some, you know, here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we have some more authentic Mexican fare called like Rosa's, and I like Rosa's a good deal. That's sort of my my Mexican restaurant of choice. What's with that on-off? Trying to figure out like what's the deal with this on-off here. You have to like So that's okay, there we go. There's the thing. I see. Okay, this is easy. We got this. Wait. Oh, we need 3 1-ups. Okay. So we need to get like they'll be contained in all the question mark blocks. I didn't break one, did I? Did I break one already? Yeah, if I broke one, that might be trouble. With like my spike helmet or something. I don't see the 3rd one. Oh, there it is. Spike helmet is perfect, okay. It was obvious. It was quite visible, in fact. Barely an inconvenience. Y'all ever watch those videos that guy, he like sums up like movies and he does it in like 5 minutes? Apparently it was at first a Screen Rant thing. That channel's all right. They do tell the same jokes over and over again. Yeah, Screen Rant, yeah. I do like to hear the guy say, barely an inconvenience. Like, that is just a good line. But the problem is, like, nearly every movie has that in its summary. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, it's gonna be super easy, actually. It'd be funnier if it was, like, a different, equally good line each time. But I don't know, I do like hearing that. I do think part of the magic of that was ruined a bit when I watched one of them, and then after there was like a post-credits thing where he said like, oh yeah, I haven't seen the movie yet. And I just heard that and go like, wait, what? You do these recaps without even fucking watching the movie? I mean, I guess you don't really need to, but I feel like this is tantamount to a review to me. You know, like, you should... It's kind of a shtick rather than like, it's content, you know, and more disposable than perhaps I would like. It's good, but I feel like I can't watch too much of it or else I'll just be like, I'll see through the illusion, you know? It's like seeing through the Matrix. Bread bug. Looks like your code got a little bit lost there. Either it wasn't a valid code or, it's like seeing through the Matrix, you know, seeing the code. Let me see. Oh, right, you need to put dashes in there. You have to put dashes in there. But, I found it. I gotcha. And also, I see that you're chatting, so you're good for it. 4YF. Let's go ahead and get this done. Versus Man at Legs, Pikmin. Oh, I love Pikmin. Pikmin 4 is probably my, is likely to be my, my runner-up, game of the year. Really love Pikmin 4. Level 95. I couldn't make out most of that, text back there. Hope you don't mind. So, Man at Legs, that's like... Man at Legs? It's not like the Man of War, right? That's the... Man of Legs. Is the Man of Legs the Man of War, the one that shoots you? I guess this is shooting us. This must be the one that shoots you a bunch. We need to throw our shit up into its on-off switch. This is, chaotic, to say the least. I lost the helmet. That's not good. Yeeks. Yeeks. We have to try not to do that this time. Oh man, I'm just getting so hungry. I'm getting so hungry here, y'all. What are other places that I would like to go for lunch in the future? What are places that y'all like to go for lunch? Let's turn it around. When y'all want to go out for lunch, say in a work day, or whatever, where do y'all go? I've had a lot less going out to lunches recently because I've been working from home, and, you know, when you're working from home, it's just easier to just have something quick, like hot dogs or something, you know? I suppose I could also, like, return home for lunch, conceivably, you know? I'm not so far away from the office where I couldn't just return home and have lunch there. Perfect, we did it. Chipotle? I've never had Chipotle. That is one of, like, a handful of, I say a handful, a good amount of restaurants where I've never tried them. Like Arby's. I've never had Arby's either. I have Arby's set up for treat stream, so it's possible someone might eventually buy me Arby's. But most of my streams are like after Arby's close, so it doesn't really make sense to have treat stream except for like big event streams that start in the middle of the day. Ow, ow, bah. That is an appropriate thing to throw at me, given the level we just played. Thank you. Level completed. Lord Bowser, you're up. Lord Bowser just was GGing relatively recently. I bet Lord Bowser is good for it. GG'd again. Perfect, perfect. Let's re-up the tries and finish off this world that we're in the super world. I think we're at the castle, so wish us luck. Hopefully we'll get through it in tonight. Not that it really matters, you know, we can end at any point in the super world, depending on what happens in the stream, but, or how the cookie crumbles, you know? How the super world ends up being moved through, but, I do like when we can finish a stream and be at the end of a super world. That is, to me, satisfying. What other types of cuisine are there? There's, like, places where you can get soup, or, like, Panera Bread. I've never been one much for Panera Bread. I think I've went there once, and I was like, this is kind of weird. I don't really get it. Pizza, pizza. Ooh, pizza. I gotta get I gotta find a good pizza place in, like, close to my new gig. Ooh. Pizza is just a top-tier lunch. Ooh. I haven't had pizza that regularly since, you know, it's not something you have at home as often unless you do, like, the DiGiorno type shit. Do y'all do DiGiorno? I don't know. I need me, like, a New York-style pizza. Like, something that approaches, like, a New York-style pizza. Though, to me, that's just a large pizza that you can fold, you know? I don't like it to be, like, too crunchy or too, like, brittle, you know? Which I guess is maybe a trait of New York pizza that I don't care for. Or, like, some New York pizzas. I guess it probably depends on the New York pizza. I was in New York / New Jersey, and we had a pizza, and it was very, like, the crust was very, like, crumbly, you know? Very, like, charred, you know? Yes, that's right. DiGiorno's is a brand. Anyway, you'll definitely have some more pizza. The pizza place I like is, like, called Angelo's. Currently, that's the pizza place I go to now in, like, the Plano area. I guess I should look around more, like, around the office that I'm going to be working at, and seeing if there's any places nearby that are, like, really good for, like, New York-style pizza. I'd really like a pasta place, but I really just don't think that they make pasta the way that I like, honestly. There was one place that I went to, an Italian place, that had, like, one thing I had at the Spaghetti Warehouse all the time was, like, a wedding soup. They had, like, a wedding soup, and that was delicious. I remember I would have a wedding soup, and then, like, you know, bread rolls and shit, like, Italian bread. And I would dip, you know, garlic butter on the bread. Dip the garlic bread into the wedding soup. Wedding soup and those little wedding soup meatballs. Oh, delicious. And there is another Italian place that has a wedding soup, except that I didn't like their pasta that much when I went there, so I would probably have to have something else there if I were to go there again. Good shit, Lord Bowser. I liked it a lot. Oh man, I'm hungry. A Subway sandwich is good. Tell me more foods. Tell me more restaurants. I tried a gyro once. I don't know. I don't really get gyros. You know, like, Greek cuisine. I don't really get it. No. I like a rice bowl. I like a ramen. I tried udon once, and I wasn't as into it as ramen, but I bet I could I could fuck with I could probably fuck with an udon if I... Sushi. Sushi is good. I like sushi. There's a sushi place near me. I like to get a sushi, a rainbow roll sometimes. I do find with sushi, though, you want to get, like, whatchamacallit, like, a miso soup, or an udon soup, or another side soup or something. Because... Wait, no, this is... I'm sorry, I didn't put in the right code. Let me put in your code, Paul. Sorry. Let's get out of here. I hit the wrong buttons. Next time we'll do this world. Wasn't thinking. I'm so hungry right now. Oh my god, I want to eat. I like sushi a lot. You really gotta get, like... I like sushi reasonably well. You gotta get a side, though, because it's, because you need to get something like filling. If this is the level that you think it is... Oh, let's see what level it is. God, it's too late to get anything other than, Whataburger, though, which is... I like Whataburger, but... can you check the code? Okay, looks like the code didn't work. Yeah, perfect. I see a new code in chat from Paul. I will accept that. I guess it wasn't the one you were thinking of, because it doesn't exist anymore. Must have gotten deleted or something. It happens. Antique Antis. Antes. A collection of anti-style challenges. This looks fun. And it's Christmas themed. Hey, it's snow themed. Perfect. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay, this is a fun one. Wow, you really need to, like, wait until it swings far enough away before you can actually catch it. You gotta go. Goodbye. Goodbye, bread bug. Okay, here we have to, like, spawn one guy and have him bonk off the other guy so that we can get damaged and go through the door. In this case, I think we have to not do a P. Timing here is really precise, huh? Hit the button like right as about as it's about to hit my butt. Maybe like right after it hits the spring. Right after it hits the spring, I think, is when we have to jump. So now. 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 Fuck! The first one is kind of the hardest one. Ooh. Damn it! I'll say a timeout counts for all of our lives, by the way. That's how it works in the lightning round. For anyone wondering. Oh, I am so hungry. I don't really do, like, hot dogs in restaurants. That's not really a thing. You know, for hot dogs, you just get at home, you know? You get, like, I like Hebrew National, and I have those with some, like, H-E-B buns. I think H-E-B buns are the best buns right now, and, honestly, everything else seems kind of crappy. As far as, like, bun quality goes. I'd recommend H-E-B's buns, though. I did try, like, a hot dog place once. I was sort of looking for, like, more places to to do fast food of. You have H-E-B? Oh, wow! It despawned! The spring despawned! Fuck yes! Okay. I do have H-E-B, yeah, I'm in, like, They recently started opening up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They started opening up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We have, I have a couple. You know, there's a couple near me. I got lucky? Was that luck? Was that a glitch? Okay. Good to know then. Am I supposed to be, like, pushed down through this? Let's use the reset doors. There's gotta be the reset doors here. B. Ah, fuck! It's a neat... How the fuck do you get down there, though? Halfway through. We're like 3 out of 5 challenges in, so this is the 4th one, so we must be getting pretty close here. I should try more things. I'll say, like, I've never done steak lunch, like a steakhouse or anything. That's more of a dinner affair, and also, steakhouses are just so expensive. Like, isn't it like, I mean, honestly, right now it's probably even more than it was back in the day, but I went to one once and it was like 20-30 bucks for a steak. And like, didn't really compare that favorably to like a home cooked steak by like my parents, you know? Like if I go over there and they're having steak, it's kind of free to me, you know? They're just having a steak. So I just usually just have that, you know, from my folks. Also, I do like, how they steak is done. What are we doing wrong here? Do I need to, like, hit the button, like, at the very bottom of the thing? Seems like we're getting enough height to, like, go up. What's the deal here? Well, if you got a tip, go ahead. I can, like, be stable if I hold to the direction. If I hold, like, to the left. Or right. You to do a micro hop? Gotcha, so just holding down the button as little as possible. And as low as possible as well. What else is good? I'll say, like, I've never gotten into, like, what's that burger restaurant called? I'm not really a big McDonald's person. That's not the one I was thinking of. In-N-Out. I've had In-N-Out once, and I didn't really care for it that much. I found it was very cheap, I'll say that for it, but I don't know. I prefer to get a Wendy's or like a Five Guys or a Whataburger. Those are my choices for burgers. You know, and historically I've gotten Steak and Shake as well, which is like a burger, but you know, slightly different in shape. I bet I need to hold down as well. I feel like that was close. Timer's running short. We have only this amount of time to do it. And like I said, a timeout counts for as many lives as there are, like, hundreds of seconds on the clock. And I think this was a 500-second affair, so that'll be it for now. Won't be that long until I get to eat. Nothing is open, though, so... I mean, maybe there are other restaurants that are open 24/7. Maybe I could look in and see if there's anything other than Whataburger that I want to eat. I had Whataburger last night, so after the stream, I think. Or was that the night before? At any rate, it was like in the last 2 days I had some Whataburger, so probably too soon for more Whataburger. Yes! But I have 34 seconds left, so it's checkpoints. Hey! That refreshes our tries, so that would, we're good, folks. We can now, relax a little bit. Huh. This is a unique challenge. Checkpoint hype, that's right. We have, like, 10 seconds to do that, so it's probably for the best that we didn't get it on our first try. Again, we're just resetting the timer now. That does not count as, like, towards this thing that we do. Okay, we need to, like, hit it. We need to let him fall. and then go and intercept. And be pretty tight. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Wasn't there 5? That might be it then. We have to jump off a snowball? Oh my god. Merry Christmas. Snowball me. Okay, they're just gonna fall directly downwards. Nope. Sometimes directly downwards. Motherfucker, throw consistently, please. I'm ready for my next snowball. I assume if we went through the door and as Big Mario, we would die, right? Because we can't get under that gap by like sliding, I think. Presumably, it just wouldn't work. More restaurant talk. I could go for some Taco Bell right now, honestly. I like a crunch. I do appreciate Taco Bell. You can't go through? Okay, noted. I do appreciate Taco Bell. It's just that it's so spicy, I can barely get through one. I think a crunch wrap is a really interesting, item, right? Just like a weird six-sided wrap full of all sorts of good crap. I could go with a crunch wrap. Even if it's spicy, I'll try to just I don't know, drink a lot of water. I suppose that'd be the way. Usually when I go for tacos, I go to Rosa's, which is a local chain. You know, there's it's like Rosa's Tortilla Factory. I like to get tacos with sour cream added in. You know, like sour cream tacos, that sort of thing. Or going for more when I go to Rosa's, I like to get a fajita plate. Yeah, there we go. A fajita plate is just always a good time. Really enjoy fajitas. Okay, I need to jump on this. Have it be... There we go. Oh, what the hell? We need to be really well centered. I feel like we must be coming up on the end here. I like fajitas a good deal. With, you know, all the different toppings you can put on. That's just a fun way to do, Mexican cuisine. That's probably my favorite Mexican thing. Mexican food item. A fajita. When I go for tacos, by the way, I like a soft taco. I don't really like a hard taco so much. Is that, uncommon? I feel like that might not be the most common way people do, a taco. Normal jump off a snowball. I haven't, but I feel like if I do that... Normal jump off a snowball. Kinda works. Whoa! Okay! That seemed like it shouldn't have worked, but it did work, so... Whatever. What? Okay. I'm a little confused about this one. Can I, like, clear the way for it? By the time I'm, like, picking it back up, the snowball is back. What I can do... Drop that in there. Make a path. Damn it. Make a path, but by the time I'm getting the third one down, the last one that I did is coming back up. Try throwing it 2 layers deep. Ah! That works. 9 seconds. I don't think we're doing this, folks. Hard level there. That was 500 seconds. That's all our tries. Really good one there. Oh. That's gonna do it for tonight, folks. Nice try, thank you. That's gonna do it for tonight. The queue is closed. We're done. The lightning round is over. The stream is over. Whole thing. I'm hungry. Did you watch the full Minecraft vid? I didn't see any Minecraft vid. Oh, right, that vid. Oh, yeah, the one from a few weeks ago. I watched part of it, yeah, I forget. That was like a month or 2 ago. I was confused for a second, Paul. I remember, yeah. The one about whether it was a real place, or if you could tell if you were in a video game world or not. It's been a while, man. Yeah, I'm hungry. Question implied. Watch it all. Which question? Anyway, yeah, it's time to do a raid. It's time to end off. Let me pull up the old schedule there. You can see I will be back on Monday, 8 p.m. Central, for StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. That is going to be the last of the StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm streams. We just got one final chunk of that game left, that campaign left, and then after that, I don't know what the next Let's Play will be. Gotcha. I don't know when the next stream will be, but the next playthrough will be, or what it'll be yet, but there will be one of those, like, you know, before too long. I suppose also, like, after I get a new job, the schedule could change entirely. Like, maybe Monday isn't necessarily a day I want to do a stream anymore. We'll see what happens with that in the future. Next Thursday will be a Game of the Year refresher. I'll be checking out, going back to some of my favorite games of the year, like Zelda, Pikmin, Mario, Sea of Stars, couple other games, and I'll try to get through as many as possible. There might be an additional stream of that, like, later on. We'll see when that ends up making sense. And then on next Friday will be viewer levels, as per usual. Next Friday's episode will happen. I'm not sure about the one between Christmas and New Year's, because it's between Christmas and New Year's. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to see y'all on Monday. Y'all have a good one. Let me see who is streaming right now. Nomads of Fantasy is doing Ocarina of Time. Dude I know. He's been doing some streaming recently, as well as he also does like a podcast by that name, apparently. I'm gonna send you over there. That seems like a cool thing. I like Ocarina of Time. One of the games I've been thinking about doing as like a replay, perhaps. I'm gonna send you over there. I will see y'all on Monday for Heart of the Swarm. Game of the Year refresher Thursday. And if you're looking for viewer levels, those will be on next Friday as per normal. I'll see y'all on Monday, 8 p.m. Central. Bye, folks. Really? Bye, folks.